5 innocent people killed, not a sign of a human.
Murder's victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
In all cases, the killers are eating.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, Chaos?
Oh, how you doing, big brother? I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Me and you both. We've been talking about this show for a while. You know, a lot of people have been actually asking for it. I'm making sure this phone is turned down. That way. There we go. Everybody's been, every time we do a stream, everybody's like, Dogman this and Dogman that. So I figured it was time to, you know, I told you there's been a guy, disclaimer first, y'all. I want to put this disclaimer out there at the very first of the show because I know there's going to be some people that's going to be chomping at the bit to be butts. And please, let me inform you first of all, this is something that was brought to me. I decided I wanted to share because me and Chaos did a little bit of, I didn't do a whole lot of investigation. You know, most of my investigation on this was sitting behind the computer and looking and seeing, and it kind of makes sense. But this is just an idea that somebody else brought to the table. We looked at it and said, it's plausible. But it's just an idea. Okay? I want everybody to understand that. This is not what we're saying these things are. This is not what we're saying. We are not saying they do this, that, or bake a cake or eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in your house at night. Disclaimer, because if you send us a bunch of hate mail, you know where it's going? In the garbage. And then you get put on that block list. And
yeah, and I also oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just butting in.
Like I said, you get put on that block list, and then you get put in the pit of forever. Don't think about your ass no more. So
yeah, and if you're in the pit when we're recording an Infernal episode, you're going to end up in the recording studio with corn nuts being thrown at you the whole time. So that's not exactly a good thing.
Hey, did you turn off either your data or your other?
Why am I in and out?
You started going in and out just then.
All right, hold on. Let me turn my mobile data off. Turn off. There we go. Yeah, I should just be on the Wi-Fi now. Okay.
Hello to everybody in the chat. And sticking to what I told y'all, I promised y'all, I'm going to try every week. Like I said, Vault's got a bunch of new tricks up his sleeve. We're not just going to talk about some of this stuff. See, Vault has the capabilities now to show you some pictures. That way we can talk about them. I have a little slideshow put together for y'all tonight. That we're going to do. Like I said, it's going to be Interact with Vaulting Chaos. And the new name to this, like I came up with it, was the Late Late Show with Vaulting Chaos. I like the name, so that's what I'm calling it because I'm more than likely, this is kind of early for me because I usually go on much later than this. I'm a night person. I'm night creeper. So, you know, people just have to look at that and go with it. But we still have the ability to, you know, just do whatever we want here. Because, like I said, we've only scratched the surface of the new stuff and the new shows that Vaulted Chaos are bringing you. So I'm going to turn for just a minute to Chaos so he can give his disclaimers or whatever he wants to say, and then we're going to go on with the show.
Well, I don't know how much of a disclaimer it is, but I'm just saying we don't, wherever you got the information came from, I don't even know if we're being, when he brought it to me, I was like, what? And then he explained it to me and some videos and some pictures.
Dude, you're
like, yes, that kind of makes sense.
Dude, you're cutting out. Oh, I'm talking about horribly bad. About 2 words, and that's all anybody got just then.
Oh, really? Oh man, I don't even know how to fix that. I'm on the Wi-Fi, and it's kind of up and down. So everybody else is on it. So,
try your mobile data.
Okay. Well,
Swap to your mobile data. That way, it's the only one on it. Because, like I said, it came through with you guys, and then that was it. What's going on?
Hey, am I here or?
Oh yeah, you're here.
Okay, because I mean my signal isn't the greatest, but if the mobile data works better, then that's what we'll do. Maybe when everybody else is off the stuff, I can pop back on. So
okay, and like I said, we've got 11 people in here, and for the people that just came in, like I said, disclaimer up front. I wanted to let everybody know that. Like I said, this is not to say that this is what exactly it is or whatever. We're bringing a different look on an old subject. It's food for thought, and I want to get other people's thought on this because, like I said, it was brought to me in kind of a shady way. I'm going to add because I still haven't heard nothing else back from this dude, but it made Vault start going, Then I got Chaos to going, really? And we let Paul in on the secret.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, okay, good. And as far as Paul, he'll be in momentarily. I mean, he was doing something, so I'm sure we'll see him pop in because I told him we would be doing this tonight.
So. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And for those that don't know, yes, there's sound effects over here now. And we also have this ability right here. We have this ability. Welcome to one of Vault Screens.
Welcome to Vault Teaching 101.
Yes. So we're going to pull this down for just a second so I can open this up.
Because so is this going to be like a PowerPoint slideshow type of thing?
Hey, Chaos, I even was able to find one of your really old girlfriends. Here she is. Did you miss her?
One of my really old girlfriends.
She's on the screen. Didn't you? Did you miss her?
Oh, she is so cute. Oh, look at that sexy thing. Her nostrils are my favorite. So, yeah, she's a cutie. Jesus, don't choke. God.
Could not just.
Vamp is in the chat. Vamp is in the chat. My sister.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, I can see her. Hold on. She's on screen 3. Wait a minute. What the hell are you doing, screen? Hold on. I'm having to equal something out here. Okay.
You got to take that picture down, man, because that's just too painful for me right now.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, I honestly thought we were going to make little cave babies and, you know what I mean? Name them Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and it didn't work out.
Like I said, it's a whole new show here for Paul. What we're going to talk about, that dude, it didn't take long to go left, did it? What we're going to talk about here is something that was brought to my attention. And like I said, at first I'm like, really? Then I talked to Chaos a little bit about it because, like I said, I don't know how to feel about this. I just know once you see what I'm going to show you, you'll be able to kind of get in Vault's head and say, it's plausible. Well, this guy contacted me, and like I said, I'm going to say in a shady kind of way, and was like, you're right about the DOGMAN and how they are, how they act. I'm like, yeah, no shit. But he says everyone has it wrong. I'm like, everybody has what wrong? They're not canine. I wrote back to him. They damn sure look like a dog to me. He said no. He said baboon. I'm like, huh? What? So I automatically go pull up a picture of a baboon. Now, this is the first image that I came to. And it got me to thinking. And I'm like, okay, maybe, sort of, a little bit. The only problem is, you see all this right here? A DOGMAN does not have discoloration on his face or nothing. Plus, there's some little pointy ears right up here. Now, all this, yeah, and the sunk back eyes, yeah, I can, like I said, it's coming to me. The nose is a little different from what I remember, but like I said, Lake is really close cousins. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it also begs to be told that if you're talking about, like, say, genetic splicing, and you're mixing stuff between, okay, we've got this, and we're going to add this, and we're going to put this, plug this in to, kind of round out the genome and all that.
Hey, we ain't got there yet. we ain't.
Oh, geez, sorry, jumping the gun.
Yeah,
sorry, my bad.
That's okay. All right, since he's done said that,
you all right? I mean,
oh yeah. I had to move just a minute, and I had one of my damn feet hung. Since he let the cat out of the bag, we'll go ahead and go there with it. When I said, okay, that's that's close, like maybe cousins or something, but no, what I saw was canine. He said, well, it was something that was genetically engineered. They used supposedly baboon DNA, supposedly Giantopithecus DNA, and Sasquatch DNA. Now, for the people that don't know, we have a little chart to give people an idea of what we're talking about here. And for some reason, they have Chewbacca in here. I don't know what doofus did this, but and King Kong. Like I said, Giantopithecus was known. It's called Giantopithecus blackie. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link. There's the link. If somebody wants to come in and, and like I said, leave your 2 cents on this. Hey, because like I said, we're discussing something that me and Chaos has been discussing, and like I said, we're trying to work this out because, like I said, there's some stuff that makes sense but doesn't make sense. Like I said, we're not saying, disclaimer again, this is what it is. I'm telling y'all what was brought to me, and then I started researching it. But supposedly this thing has Giantopithecus blackie, which would be right here. Supposedly that, and supposedly Sasquatch DNA. Now, where they got all this DNA, I don't know. This guy wasn't. When I would ask questions, I'd get more stuff back than what I actually asked. Like I said, it was real kind of shady, and then it was attached to one of those emails that you can't get back to. And I haven't heard nothing else back to him, but I thought this was interesting enough to do a show about it.
Hey, brother. Sorry to interrupt, but you're cutting out pretty good now too.
Oh, I am? Okay. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, it looks like we're both having issues. This is a little bit, yeah. I mean, on my end, I don't know how it sounded on the stream, but if we didn't have issues, it wouldn't be one of our shows.
Nope. Can everybody hear us okay? Okay. Well, since that's all been out, like I said, we got different DNA profiles and all that stuff supposed to be in there. And he says that's the reason why they kind of look like they do. Then he sends me a picture because I told him, I said, look, they don't have the coloration on the face that the baboons I pulled up, I'm thinking the baboons all look the same with the red and the blue looking on their face, but no. This is a baboon too. You notice there ain't no coloration on his face, and look at the little pointy ears.
Ooh, he's taking a selfie.
Oh yeah, this is the thing. There's as many different baboon species as there are regular monkeys. Like I said, I've never researched baboons, never cared to. But like I said, now this is getting a little bit more closer. Now it had the teeth showing that the other one did. Yeah, I can see that. Now, this is the other thing. I did not realize how mean these damn things are. Baboons, regular baboons, are meaner than hell, y'all. And if you want to know that, here's a picture of one fighting a freaking leopard. He ain't going down he ain't going down easily. You look at the leopard, he's like, oh shit, I think I should have thought this out. These things are vicious. The other thing is, me and Chaos found out they use tools. Don't know. I couldn't find a real good one of them with the stick. I don't have it no more. The one with here's one that is chasing. Yeah. Anybody see a problem with this? The prey is now chasing the predator. Like I said, these things are not docile. These are mean. Me and Chaos come across a couple of stories where they were using rocks, pelting and throwing them. They were actively taking sticks and using them like a spear and poking stuff and beating lines and crap. Like I said, it's interesting. Hold on, let me catch up in chat here. I got to turn all the way back around to the other screen. Black-eyed kid, what's up? Fear the Great White. Hey,
yeah, we ain't heard from you guys in a while. That's awesome.
Yeah, hold on. Like I said, y'all got the vault has so much shit going on here. I'm like I got more crap going on. I took advantage of all these damn screens and stuff put in here, and like I said, there's 3 screens running now, and y'all have one of them, and I have 2, one with the chat and one that I can pull stuff to put on the screen that y'all are watching. But like I said, this is just like I said, I did not realize how mean these damn things were. Chaos did some stuff, and he's like, dude, these little bastards are mean. And if you want to know how mean they are, you want some true evidence, go to National Geographic, type in baboon, and they got little videos there. These things will attack you. They will attack other animals. Good example. Look here. This thing ain't giving up. And do y'all see what's going on here behind him? Exactly what DOGMAN is known to do. They come in, surround you from the back in a tribe, and they don't run. But that kind of matches up with the known, basically just a bully of a DOGMAN. Now you've got the size of a put in the Giantopithecus DNA, and there's no telling what's going to come out of that. Then you put in the Sasquatch DNA. There's no telling what that's going to do. And there's no telling once you start doing all that, what exactly you're going to come up with. I want to show y'all one more picture right here real quick, and then we're going to get into some more of what the guy told me. Chaos, do you remember? I don't know if any of the listeners do. Ah, shit, I forgot to look at chat. Hold on. Like I said, there's a link, and hold on. Oh, shit. I can't see that. Hold on. Somebody. Okay, no, they wasn't trying to come in. Okay. Do any of y'all remember me telling y'all about the hand that the DOGMAN that I saw, the way it was? It's hard to describe this hand because it looks like a human hand. It kind of looks like a big hand, but it doesn't. Do you remember telling you that?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you a photo now. This is really what got my attention. This is another form of baboon. Kind of looks like Elvis to me. Now I'm going to zoom in on something here. Look at that hand. You see what I remember? Remember I told you the thumb looked like it was set further back on the hand than what it was supposed to be. Like I said, we're going to zoom in a little more. That way everybody can tell this is coming from a real creek. Now, this is I forgot what kind of baboon this is, but this is another different kind of baboon. But look at the hand. Look at the thumb, the placement of the thumb. When I saw that, that right there is what really piqued my attention, because that right there is the closest thing I've seen for what I saw was attached to the DOGMAN. Now, I'm not saying this is a DOGMAN. Understand that. I know this is a baboon. I just don't remember the name of the baboon. And disclaimer, all these photos came off of Google. I don't have any photos of DOGMAN. Well, I don't have any photos that I know 100% are DOGMAN. We've got some photos of something that's supposed to be DOGMAN. I have some photos of some footprints that I want to share too, that I know are DOGMAN. But like I said, do you see that thumb on that hand right there? That right there was a big thing to me about something that, this has got a lot of validity to it, because that's the closest thing right there that I've seen to what I saw. The thumb set further back on the hand, the fingers coming further. When I saw that, it brought back memories. Now, like I said, to what the guy told me was, like I said, supposedly there's some DNA structure in there, and I was like, well, why hasn't this, how long has it been going on? The answer I got was 20 years, and they supposedly somewhere way back had an accident where some of these things got loose and they started breeding in the wild. Okay, we lost chaos. Whether that is true or not, like I said, I can't tell you anything this guy told me was absolutely true. I have not found nothing other than what he told me, and it led me down a rabbit hole to be like, okay, you're back.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I might be having, it might have been my dad. I don't know what the deal was. And maybe it just didn't like me and kicked me out.
No problem. Or you're back now. So, like I said, that's kind of where we are. Like I said, he told me this thing was supposed to be genetically engineered with he didn't say which baboon. He just said baboon DNA, giant Pithecus blackie, and Squatch DNA. So there's no, he didn't say nothing about no kind of canine anywhere, and that's what he told me. He's like, everybody's got it wrong. There's no canine in it. I'm telling you, what I saw looked like a canine. That's all I can tell you. And he said, well, the baboon, most people just see the head, they would think canine. Well, okay. Like I said, that led me down to a little more research, and like I said, some of the stuff lines up pretty good. Some of it doesn't, because the way the legs are doesn't match. And what I mean by that is, give me a second. The baboons. Here's a picture I'm pretty sure everyone has seen at least once. You see how these legs, they come down to the knee and then they shoot back and then they shoot straight down and the foot kind of leans forward. But if whoever drew this, that is really, really, really close to what I saw. Really close. Now, to me, that don't look like the damn baboons we were just looking at, except for the mouth, maybe the nose. Oh, I thought Fear was talking to me. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Okay. But like I said, we kind of went down the rabbit hole with this right here, because like I said, everything so far lines up except for these legs, because all the legs that I found of a baboon. Let's see here. We'll go back to this picture. Now, you see the leg does kind of come down right here to the knee, goes down, and it looks like the front part kind of shoots over. Okay, kind of. It's kind of hard to tell. I haven't found a real good one of baboons to tell you exactly. Well, I guess right here, you can see the hip bone. Now, Dogman is known to walk in that posture and then stand up, but I said, I can't tell you for 100% what he told me was true. I've only ever heard this one time, and like I said, I got to looking, and it made me start questioning. The other thing is, I want to take a picture here that someone drew. All right, look at this picture here. This is a picture from, I think it was 2010. I think when this picture was drawn. I don't remember who drew it. Like I said, all these pictures from Google. But if I was just to take in, let's see here, if we just took this and did this right here and only showed you that much, and I told you that right there was supposed to be a picture of a baboon, I could believe it. Because this right here doesn't actually look like an ear until I tell you it's a dogman or a werewolf or a wolf. It looks like just a tuft of hair. I said, this is. I said, I'm trying to get people's interest here in the chat room, and let's see what they're saying. Oh yeah, black-eyed. Baboons are mean little shits. I said you can go look it up. I watched one video where this he was doing pretty good until the lioness's sister showed up, and then it was kind of went the direction he didn't want to go in. But he was kicking her ass because he done picked up sticks and rocks, and I'm talking about he was chasing her around. Then all of a sudden, 4 of the lioness showed up. And the tree he went to go up wasn't big enough. And that's the other thing. These things climb up trees just like what I seen myself that the Dogman did. And I was like, well, there's another, you kind of make a list of things that are Dogman, baboon is the way I did it. All right. I know the Dogman did this, and this. Well, I've seen something where a baboon did this. I hadn't seen one of this. And that just don't, that's the way I was going about trying to figure out what the hell's what. That's the easiest way I can tell you. Then we've got, this will freak everybody out. I've been showing y'all pictures of the baboon hair and all that kind of stuff. And the first thing that I think it was Paul that said, hey, they don't have the ears like a dog man. I'm going to show you a picture of a baboon that has I don't know what it's called, the hairless baboon. And here she is in all her glory. That is called a hairless baboon. Now, if you notice, the feet look like a monkey's feet because it looks like another pair of hands down there. So, but look at these ears. Just that right there looks so much like what I can remember that it just, that's what drew my eyes to it when I saw it. But yeah, that's a hairless baboon. Like I said, there is many different baboons than I ever thought about, because like I said, and some, I can't remember, was it you or Paul that was like, you know, what about the you know, how mean they act or grimacing they act?
Yeah, I don't think it was me. I think that might have been Paul.
It might have been. Well, it just so happens I didn't know baboons kind of had attitude like they do. How'd you like that looking at you? Does that look like he's offering to be your friend?
Looks a little salty to me.
that's and I didn't enlarge that. That's the way it came. I'm like, and when I first saw that, I had to do a double take because I've seen that same expression before on a DOGMAN. That one right there. So, yeah, they can. Yeah, he doesn't look like he wants to be friendly. We're gonna set him up for chaos.
Me.
Hey,
you know, I understand in taking one for the team, but that's not one I want to take for the team. I'm just saying.
Hey, look, you know, you ever been woke up when somebody calls you and wakes you up like from a good sleep, and you got that look like you're staring. You know, you can feel them staring at you through the phone. Yeah, that's what that look reminds me of.
Yeah, sounds about right.
If anybody from the chat, like I said, wants to come in, here's your opportunity. I said, give us your. I didn't realize I hadn't been watching. You know, we're already up to 29 people.
Yeah, I've been watching that. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
And for all the people, yes, I found some Zippo fluid. Finally. You don't know how long my Zippo.
Well, you know, the thing that struck me is that when you brought this to my attention, we were talking about this on the phone. I was like, wow, that kind of lines up a little bit. And it really didn't quite hit me until a little bit later that night. I went and laid down with Oakley, and he wanted to watch Jurassic World. And there was a few lines that struck me in that movie where the little dude that had said, listen, we've always used parts of other animals' DNA to fill in the genetic sequences. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess that could kind of make sense. I mean, how many stories about Dogman have you heard where they're climbing in trees or people have found them above them or they're jumping down? And a lot of this stuff kind of seems to make sense. And with the visual representations, I didn't know, because I've seen it in the chat, like, that the baboon theory had been thrown out there, and it's like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, why would they do that stuff in the first place? You know what I mean? And then you realize it's like, well,
who put that
creating like a super soldier?
Who put that in chat? I didn't see that, because I want to know where.
Jason was the one that I had saw initially first off, and I believe that Jaws did too.
Okay, well, I had never heard that before. Jason, thanks. Do you know who put that out there? Because like I said, I've been trying to figure out who this was that contacted me, because like I told Chaos, it was sketchy. Jaws, you want to come in? We ain't bashful here. Don't be scared.
Oh wow, look at that. You got Jaws's you got him breathing heavy and his heart rate way up. Ooh.
I tell you what, can you come in? So I blew that right into the fucking mic. Sorry, folks. But like I said, I had never heard it before. And like I said, the first thing I told Chaos was, this is kind of sketchy. I don't know if this is somebody just messing with me, but like I said, when I started taking a look, I kind of fell down the rabbit hole, and it more lined up to, it makes more sense than so far these things just came about, because my whole thing with that is, where is the evidence they've been around, just like Bigfoot? There's even native cave paintings that looks like aliens. There's native cave paints that looks like Bigfoot. There are no native cave paintings that look like a Dogman. So where were they at then?
We don't even have primates in this country, do we? We don't have baboons, unless they're actually in a zoo, but not in the wild.
I think a few have escaped and stuff like that, but supposedly, you know, I know they're non-native. The Bigfoot's not even supposed to be here, but I know damn well it's here. I know damn well Dogman's here. I can't tell you what it is. Like I said, I'm not saying that Dogman is a baboon. No, that's not what Balt is saying. Balt is saying this was what was given to him, and it kind of lines up enough to talk about it. Is what I'm saying. No, thanks, Chris. We ain't done yet.
And the fact that the way that they look, and the fact that the way that they look, and what was said that was actually mixed in the gene splicing and all that stuff. I don't know, man. It kind of just seems in this situation with the way it's presented that it kind of adds up, and the more I hear about it, the more we talk about it, and the more pictures I see, it kind of makes sense to me.
All right, well, we're gonna do this. I didn't know about this picture until Mr. Paul brought it to my attention. Right here, he sent me this picture. Now I want you to look at this picture, and that you can tell that's a upright, standing, pretty large creature. I don't know what the hell it's holding. I have I can't tell. I've tried to put this and wash it out, and that's supposedly a Dogman, y'all. That really, 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 really looks close to what I saw with, in the condition this photo's in. Now we're going to minimize this just a little bit. And we're going to do this. We're going to put this picture. We're going to minimize it. Balt, y'all get to go to class with Balt. Now, you look at what you can kind of tell of the face of this animal, whatever the hell it is. It's supposed to be a Dogman. I didn't take the picture. It was brought to my attention by Mr. Paul that this was supposed to be a Dogman. I can't remember if he said it was holding a dog or a rabbit or what it's supposed to be holding. I don't know. It's holding something, though. You can obviously see that. You look at the face on this. Now, you go over here and look at the face on this and make this right here where it does. Well, I tell you what. Better picture. There we go. That is a baboon. I know that is a baboon. It's labeled as a baboon. You look at that picture and you look at that picture in the face. Now, does that make you not think, wait a minute here? Because this right here is the closest thing I've ever seen that looks closest now, not exactly represents, but the closest I've seen. No canine that's out there, because you listen to any story anybody has ever told. They try their hardest to tell you what that thing looked like on the head. The best way I can tell you is it looks like a really big German Shepherd head with a little bit of Doberman Pinscher thrown in there. It doesn't look exactly like this, or exactly. It's odd. This is odd, but think about it. If you added the skeleton structure of a Gigantopithecus or a Sasquatch in on this, you don't know what bone structure is going to change. But I'm telling y'all, folks, am I blind, or does this not closely resemble this fuzzy picture right here? And I've tried everything you can think of to clean it up. That is an animal. Whatever that is, it is something standing there. It's not it's kind of blobby, but it's there. I'm talking about I can change the effects and everything like that, where you can see the shadows and all that lines up. So that's what I want to know. So, like I said, that's what got me to really, really like, okay, there may be a little more to this than bull crap. Because you asked Chaos, I told him, I said, I think this guy's full of crap. Where's the face? Hold on.
Well, that and Jason, do we have any comparable prints of, say, like a Dogman print and a baboon print?
No, I couldn't find any baboon prints, but I want to show you. All right, I'm going to show you one that was supposed to be a Dogman. All right.
Because I believe Mary had said that Dogman prints look like big dog prints, not primate feet.
All right.
And I can see that, definitely. And I think the thing with that is that, okay, if this was a a creature that was genetically spliced, or it mated with something else, whatever the deal with that is, you know, it could change. It could change the structure of what, you know, the actual body looks like. So
Right. I just put a picture of a footprint that's supposedly a dogman. This is not the way the dogman print looked like that I know to be a dogman print. To me, if somebody showed me and said, okay, identify that, the first thing I'm thinking of is bear, because it looks like a bear. The pad and all that stuff with the claws and all that, that looks like a bear. All right, now I'm going to show you what a dogman that I know of, a track. It's real easy to tell the difference. You see how that track right there is elongated and it comes down to kind of a heel right here. You see there's a sparse spot where it's like, you know, the foot stop, but then there's a heel back here. That is the dogman track that I know to be a dogman track. It was way longer than this. This is a small one, I believe. But this is not a regular wolf track. This is not a regular canine track, because a canine track that is as long as a dollar bill, that's a long freaking canine track. Because there's a dollar bill in there for scale. And if you want to know how long that is, I'm pretty sure everybody's got $1 in their pocket. I hope so, with all this crap that's been going on. Just take that dollar out, hold it in front of you, and then look at the picture. That track is from the end of that dollar to the other end of that dollar. And then it actually goes past the dollar, because right here is the back side of the hill that was kind of cut off. That right there is what a dogman track looks like. You see how the pad looks different from... All right, let's pull up this other track. Move over.
hey, there was something in the comments.
Okay.
Somebody had asked, Bomberman 5. He had said that the Dogman has been around since 1948. And I'm thinking about that at what he said, and he asked, but how could it have bamboo or bamba DNA in it if it's been around since then? I think I might have something for it, and it's off the top of my head, so please bear with me. Try not to roll your eyes too much.
All right, hold on.
What's that?
What is it? We had to lighten them up.
When did Operation Paperclip happen?
That actually happened it started.
It was right after.
It started somewhere in the 40s. I'm not exactly sure what date, and it ended actually in the 70s.
Well, Operation Paperclip, that's the one where they brought all these Nazi scientists over to the States to work for us. Now, the biggest thing that they contributed to that we all know of is the space program. But it's also known that they were also working on DNA experiments and sequences to try to create the master race or super soldiers and all that stuff. Is it that hard to believe that when they brought all of this stuff over and we got their best and brightest scientists, that this genetic research was involved in that? They went pretty deep in all the stuff that they did. All right. And all of a sudden, the United States, when they came over, it just literally exploded with all this technology. Who's to say that they did not have they were working on this thing like, well, hey, listen, I don't have space stuff, but I got this. What do you want to do with it? We were working on super soldier DNA, that type of thing. Does that sound too far-fetched?
No. Different countries have been working on the super soldier thing, and it's been publicly known now, since stuff has been declassified and stuff like that for years, that I don't know how to say that, trying to figure out and find a way to genetically make or enhance the best soldiers we have, or make the best soldier we could make, has been around in cartoons and comic books and movies. It is just not that. It's actually a thing that a bunch of different governments were trying to do. There are probably some still out there now doing it. But Vamp, you asked me about the picture. That's what we were talking about. I don't know if you got to see it a while ago or not. I can't believe nobody's took me up on my offer to come in here with us.
Mhm.
And I guarantee you there's going to be some people that are going to be pissed off that we're even talking about Dogman, or that we're even giving this for a what if. Like I said, it's not a what is, it's a what if. It's food for the brain. If you don't feed your brain, you know, it'll starve. But like I said, y'all take this and do your own comparison. Do your own research. Like I said, I never had thought of it. I had never looked into baboons, didn't know the first damn thing about a baboon when I first started this. This was last week after the show. And I've been all week. Chaos has been all week. Just looking into it and stuff. But like I said, it makes you just okay. But to go back to the tracks that I was talking about, let me pull them up like this so we can get them a little bit bigger. And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to criticize my computer skills and working. Look, I don't see nobody else doing this, so from now on, like I said, this is kind of like what we're going to be doing. All right, that right there looks, if it is a wolf track, that's a big ass damn wolf track. That's a big ass damn wolf track. Okay, that's supposedly 7 inches, and there's a human hand right there beside it. Looks like a full adult hand. So look at your hand, look at the track. I think that is a bear's track. If I had to bet money, I'm thinking that is a bear track. It is not labeled except for suspicious canine track. I think it is a bear track. This right here is called a Dogman track. It's labeled that, and it looks really damn close to what I remember seeing. Because if you look here, the pad is different from this pad. And see how elongated it is. And then you got a heel back here, but you got a gap right here. Listen to anybody's accounts for Dogman and their tracks. This is what you're going to hear them describe this. And look at the way these toes. This toe goes this way, this nail right, and it's got a nail that is permanent. It's not a cat track. That's not a cat track. You can see the claws. That's why I'm saying bear. I don't even know where this photo was taken at. I have no idea where this photo was taken at. But it looks really, really, really damn close to what if I was betting money on which one of these was a Dogman track, my money would be right here, folks. Right there. That would be where my money would go. What is chat saying now? Well, it don't matter. Come on again. Shit. Like I said, we're trying to get other people's opinion on this. This is what this show is about. Like I said, this everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody thought this was going to be something different than so far what it's been. But like I said, this is a discussion on what coulda, what shoulda, or whatever. And the way that Dogman reacts and what it does. And the other thing is, if I put up a picture of a known, we're going to use this picture. Like I said, I feel sorry for this poor little animal, but this is supposed to be what it looks like. It's hairless. And you can actually tell. I don't know if that's the way all baboon feet look like. I haven't got to see any, but that looks like that looks like a monkey's paw right there. Now, we're going to take some drawings that people have submitted saying that they were what they saw. Here's one of one supposedly that was on top of a man's roof. It's what he drew after he saw it. I don't know who drew it. I don't remember when it was drew. But look at the way this is sitting and looking. Now look at this. I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but they're really freaking similar. I'm talking about eerily similar. It's like, yeah, I can see where maybe we got that one. Then we got this one. And this was done by a little kid supposedly. And I want to tell you something. I put more validity in what children tell me than adults, because a child not known. All right, look at how this thing is sitting. Look at the arm muscles and stuff. Now look at this. You know, I understand we're trying to compare apples to oranges, but I'm going to tell you something. One of these damn oranges and one of these apples, I think, crossbred somewhere. One tree got too close to the other tree.
Well, you know, it's funny. You just made that point. I know we're trying to compare apples to oranges. And, you know, when we were talking about doing this and how we wanted to do it, I think for me personally, because I don't know if I think this way or just, you know, try to look at stuff logically. All right. Because I've never seen one. I don't ever want to see one. I would rather just look at pictures, to tell you the truth, honestly. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, when you're talking about, you know, and it's the beautiful thing about this with these talking points, talking it out, listening to, because I'm watching chat right now and I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff in chat and a lot of cool questions, is that for me personally, I think where I'm coming from with this is that if you've got this type of creature, it certainly has characteristics of a baboon. It certainly does, from the pictures we've seen, the way we're talking about it.
Yes, it does.
Now, with this, you know, this person who, you know, you heard this information from, had said that they put this type of DNA in it and this type of DNA. We only have just a little bit of the puzzle that kind of makes sense a little bit. So now, what else was spliced in? You know what I mean? Because like what Mary said, she had said that
Exactly.
you know, that they look like big dog prints. All right. We just saw the picture, and I'm not going to deny that or even try to take anybody's focus away from that. Nope. My question is that if this is the case, what exactly else did they put into this, or what was put into it? You know, in the sense of making it look the way it did, because hey, if Dogman's been around that we know of since 1948, like Bama said, okay, what kind of other experiments were done? What kind of mating was done, which would cause something? Because if there are a bunch of different looking types of Squatch and there are a bunch of different looking types of Dogman, then you have to kind of go with the thing that everyone is a little bit different as time goes on and there's new developments. It's kind of like, I hate to relate it to this, but it's kind of like cell phone technology or electronic technology. Everything has different things getting better and better as they go up through the line. Now we're talking about living creatures, whether they're, you know, what's the best way? I'm trying to find it. Basically what I'm saying is that, okay, if you have a series 1 Dogman and you have a series 7 Dogman, okay, and they mate, what's going to come out? And what is it going to look like? So that's kind of, I think, the point that I'm trying to say is that you're all coming up with awesome stuff.
Yeah, right.
What exactly is going on in the animal kingdom in this situation that's causing them to look so differently and have these different characteristics?
Well, like Vamp said, you could also look at it like this: mistaken identity. The only thing is, what I saw, if that was a baboon, that was the biggest freaking baboon that there is. That was King Kong baboon. Because, and I didn't realize how big baboons get. Male baboon can get to like 5 foot something if it stands straight up, and they can get up to 200 and something pounds. Like I said, that's a big damn. And like I said, and then they had the attitude they got. And to get back to the, I can't remember who it was talking about the large dog prints. I know this. Bear is one of the biggest dogs I've ever come across. His track is the size of the palm of your hand. If you hold your hand up and just put your picture from where your fingers intersect your palm to where your wrist is, that's about the size of Bear's track. And like that, Bear is a 200-pound dog, right at. He's plus or minus a little bit because he's getting up there and he's getting long in the tooth. Like I said, that's a big dog track. But now you take something, like I said, take a dollar bill out of your pocket, everybody, because I figured, that was a good example. Everybody can hold up and physically look and lay it on your hand. A dollar bill will cover from one end of your hand to the other end of your hand. that's a good representation to let you know that's a big damn track. This one right here. That one, why did it multiply? What the hell did I do? Oh, shit, they're multiplying on me. That is a big damn track, because you take that dollar bill, the width of it, and it will cover that right there. Like I said, think about it. I think that is a juke. What I see right there, I know it's supposed to be a Dogman track. I know that's what it's called. I didn't take it. I don't know the person that took it. Like I said, all these photos are some that I went and just pulled off Google real quick so I could have some comparison and we could have something to talk about. I'll do a little better next time. I'm sorry, folks. So, like I said, if anybody wants to do their own research, you can go straight to Google and pull all this up, just like Vault did, just like Chaos did. But that's a really big damn dog track. If it's even a regular dog track. But what gets me is right down here, they got cut off. Regular dog tracks don't have that. That is a heel mark, or what they're saying is the heel of the Dogman. That track right there, if you make it 16 inches long and about as wide, and about 6 inches wide, that was the tracks that I know that was attached to a Dogman. I know that Dogman made those tracks. So that's food for thought. What did I get? All right. I don't know if anybody else can come in here with this screen share up. So I'm going to take it down real quick. But somebody asked me before about a picture. They sent me this picture before I stop doing this, of what I believe this to be. Let me find it. Where the hell did it go? Oh, crap. Vault has lost something. Well, I thought I had it in here. Okay. I thought I had it in here. Ready to go. Let me make this wider so I can see everything. Apparently I don't. Well, hold on a second. We're going to minimize this. And I'm going to pull this up. Nope, that ain't it. Anyway, it was a picture of supposedly of a bunch of Bigfoot lined up on a hillside, and there was deer behind it. I swear I had that in the freaking folder so I knew where it was.
I'll say that wasn't the picture. I'm just saying, trying to help you out.
No, that was definitely not the picture, because these animals are back up on a hillside. You barely can make them out. Well, crap. Sorry, folks. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find that. Until then, I'm going to stop the screen share. Because I don't know if anybody else can jump in during that or not. But I'm going to look for that really. Why is there two? Okay. There's two screens here. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that was. Where did that damn picture go?
All right, Opie.
I know I had that son of a gun. Let me go look.
What are we looking for again?
I'm looking for a picture that I know I had that somebody sent me. A picture I had that I know somebody sent me that was supposed to be a couple of big, they didn't know what it was. They got it in a field, in a camera, and
Oh,
they sent it to me to see if I could figure out what it was. And to me, if I had to bet, I would say that it is a where Andy Sam Snothead. I cannot believe I misplaced that picture. That it is a dog, not dog, it is Bigfoot sitting up on a hillside overlooking deer.
you know, Born a King just came up with a question here in chat. Can a dogman be as big as a Bigfoot? I think in actual mass, not quite as big, but they can get pretty big. You know, I'm just looking at it like this. What you were talking about earlier, if they took a little bit of Squatch DNA and a little bit of bear DNA, as in, you know, not the dog, and they kind of threw that all into the mix, and it got, you know, mutated and you know, kind of rolled down the line, that could account for the size factor and the muscle mass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. I finally found the freaking picture. I had to go back and look in a email, and this picture now was taken in 2014. All right. Let me make sure it's where it's supposed to be before I click off the wrong damn thing. Where did it just go to? Oh, there it is. All right. I'm going to bring the screen share back up. Wrong. Right there.
Yeah, I saw myself leave for a second there. I was like, what happened?
That was me by accident. All right. Like I said, this is a little bitty photo. I don't know why it come into this. It's really, really hard to see on like this. And this is a really bad, like I said, this was taken across the field. The guy was looking at it because he was amazed, because there's one buck here you can definitely see. There's another buck here you can definitely see. And this little guy right here in the middle, that's a young buck. There's 3 bucks walking together. And he's like, I've never seen it before. I said, I have. But you see where these circles are? That's what he was asking me about. That looks, wow. That there's one there. There's one there. And there's one right. He thought it was just one there, but it looks like another one a little bit closer. Now, these are what we call blob squatches. You can't tell what the hell it is, but from there up on this hillside, because I asked him several questions about this hillside right here. It comes down, and there's another hillside that goes up right here, and there's a draw right here. He said those deer had walked out of that draw and come out to the edge of this field. I believe that is Squatch sitting up there watching over this field. And the thing is, do you see this dark area right here? I can't tell what that is right there. And when I change the resolution on it, it stays black. It doesn't change like all these other shapes. These shapes right here stay black. That one and that one, that one, that one, and that one all stay the same color. It's not shadows, because you know you can change the contrast, bring out the shadows, make the shadows go away. And if you notice, this deer here is looking this hillside. That deer right there is looking at the cameraman. That deer right there, I can't tell what the hell it's doing, but that deer right there, you can obviously see is focused on the hillside. I don't know why, but instead of being focused over here where the other two look like they are, he's focused up on a hill. It's like his sixth sense is kicked in. But I believe that to be Squatches lined up on that hillside. I've seen them do something similar to that. Watch deer, and then you'd have a couple down right up in here, and they run out, tackle, and just, and dispatch the deer real quick, and then take off back up the hillside with them. But that is close to what I have seen myself in the past them do. That right there is definitely a creature of some kind. That is not a tree. That is not nothing, because you can see the shape it is. That's not a tree. It don't match any other trees. It's just we call them a blob squatch. That is a definite some kind of animal. That is not a tree, and that is not a stump or nothing else. I wish I had the picture he sent me. I accidentally got rid of it. There's another picture he sent me that where he went back and took a picture. There's no deer. There's no nothing. It's just a picture. This stuff is not here in the other picture. And it was took like a couple of days afterwards. So, but like I said, that's right here. Put up. But like I said, I took the screen share down because I don't know if people can join other than me and you when I have screen share up because the layout of this. But still, though, I thought it was cool and fun that we could actually talk about something. You take and put it up so everybody can see what we was talking about instead of just trying to think about it.
Well, there was a couple things said in the chat which I think are pretty interesting. Born a King, it said Dogman is all over Kentucky. Excuse me. Dice comes back with Kentucky. You would think some moonshiners would have stories. I bet they do have stories that they're not telling people. You know what I mean? It's like the code. I've watched the shows, man, on like the history of the Code of the Moonshiner. You don't say a damn thing. But who's to say that, they don't have stories. They're just not saying it because it's like, who's going to look at them funny because it'd be like, dude, I saw this big hairy thing come out of there and he hit a still and kicked it down. You know what I mean? So
I've got moonshiners from way back then in my family. And I want to tell you something. They don't talk. They don't talk about whatever goes on out there because they don't want any extra. They don't want anybody coming out there looking. I've heard of, we call them haints is what they used to call them back around where I came from. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of a haint. That's a ghost or people that are not from the South.
Us damn Yankees.
Yeah. Man, these damn new, I got a new pair of studio headphones and these things are making my ears sweat.
Yeah, I'm there. My new headphones are like this crazy closed in type of thing. And I got a little bit of moistness going on over here.
Well, like I said, they don't talk good, bad, ugly. The only ones they talk to are their partners and buddies. And they may say, well, look out. I think I heard a haint back up on the hill there or that. And the other thing is now, if they did tell stories, they tell stories like that to keep people out of that area because that's a good way to keep people run off from there so you don't have to worry about them.
It's funny. I just want to address Dice. The land between the lakes. I have always, I honestly, I have no idea what's in there. I have heard stories about Squatch. I've heard stories about Dogman and other really weird stuff coming from that area. I myself, I would love to visit certain places. I don't think the LBL was one of them that I would go, only because of the fact that there's so much unknown there and people still go in there. Now, I live in a constitutional carry state, and I would want to bring some hardware in there. I don't think they would let me. So I think for me, the best bet is to be like, okay, let me just read stories and hear people's, encounters and stuff. Because it's like, man, who knows what's in there? It's crazy. I think Squatch is all over the place. Honestly, that's just me. But
that and people don't realize how actually big the LBL is. LBL just was a name that was thrown up there. The LBL is a huge, huge national forest. It goes actually out and in the national forest a couple of times. The way it's laid out, it goes in private lands, and there's two rivers that run through there, and then there's an island that a lot of us have kind of donated the name of Squatch Island or Booger, not Booger, but those are howlers supposed to be there and all kind of stuff. The further up you go, like I said, but the LBL is actually a very, very, I forgot how many acres, but it's several miles long and several miles wide. I'm talking about it's longer than it is wide. I've been in the LBL. I've been through a couple of places over, and I've never seen any dogman. I even went to where the dogman supposedly killed the campers and all that stuff and left bodies in trees. But nobody was there to see it that was still alive, so we don't actually know what did it. I know they found one of the bodies up in a tree, the young girl, and squatches have been known to do that. What you laughing about, Vant?
It's because I don't know why she's laughing, but Jaws is like, well, when aren't I a little bit moist though? And I'm like, well, that's classified information.
Oh, Lord. I'm not touching that with a squatch pole.
I'm just saying, the way the chat's, some of the stuff in the chat, we're starting to approach the left-hand lane now. I'm just saying, it's going to happen.
Hold on. Since chaos is getting kind of, in that way,
Oh, good Lord.
We can always call her back for you. She may take you back. We never know. Look at those. Just look at those.
Originally, I thought the whole picture thing was a good idea. That I might be starting to rethink that option at this point.
Hey, you could always, talk it over with her new boyfriend. There he is right there.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm just gonna let them be happy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna step back and just hang out over here. Just let them do their thing.
No, to Born the King. Haven't talked to him in probably more than a year. All right, Fear. Like I said, I'd like for somebody else to come in and give from the audience and give their point of view on what we've brought to the table. Because that's all we did. We brought an idea to the table.
That's an interesting question.
What's that?
Well, Dice asked me I should do a show about people, quotations, that I've run into in the woods. What kind of people specifically are you talking about? Because, I've met a lot of people.
I think he was talking to me. Because I've run into some weird, odd characters in the woods. I think I've done a couple of those. I don't think they got any hair, Vamp, because nobody. I've done gave opportunity, and that gave opportunity. Nobody else that everybody goes and listen to. They don't give an opportunity for someone from the chat to come in. I'm not scared.
It's funny. Truth be told, where I live, I'm close to Canada. Well, I'm not. Where I'm at right now isn't close to Canada, but I've gone up Maine. And been in the deep woods up there. And I'll tell you one thing, you hear a lot of Canadian accents and a lot of flannel.
I like flannel.
I like flannel too. It keeps you warm, but
at one time before camouflage got real big in the civilian side, that was what 90% of hunters wore, either red and black or black and blue. Supposedly help break your shape up from the animals. Whether it did or not, I have no idea. I know a bunch of people used it. Even when I started out, I can remember having a red and black checkered flannel jacket. That was my lucky jacket when I went out, because I killed my first big buck with that thing on, and I wouldn't go without it. And finally, I can't remember if I outgrew it or it just fell apart.
Yeah. You know what, Dice? I'll tell you right now, that's 100% true. There are a lot. The more north you go in the state, in the state I live in, the stranger things get. I don't know if that's because the lack of urbanization or just, it's a little weird up there. I'm just saying, it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? But it's just a little weird up there.
The air gets
and I'll tell you, the accents get wicked thick, guy. Let me tell you.
No, they have their own way of talking up north, y'all.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about you can be standing there and two people can be having a conversation about you and you won't even know it. It ain't because they're talking in a different language. It's because those Canadians can speak Quebec or whatever it's called, and it makes absolutely no sense because they use phrases and words that sound like they're backwards. Is the easiest way. I'm telling y'all, Canadian, they're cool as shit, but they have ways of talking. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Y'all going to slow down and speak some American here because my dumb ass don't understand. Back up, hit the pause button.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, there was a place that I used to go with my uncle because he was from up Maine, and there's this couple of set of islands, probably couple hours north of me. I'm not 100% sure how far north, how much time it takes to get there, but off the coast of Rockland, you've got North Haven and Vinyl Haven. And it's very Mainer Canadian up there. Let me tell you, you go up there and you're like, hey, how you doing? Oh, friggin' great, man. You got to be careful over there because I just tripped and I fell down. I hit my head and my thumb. Oh, God damn, I hit my thumb. And I'm like, huh? What? He's like, yeah, friggin' ting right over there. You don't see it? I'm okay. I see it. It's all good. No worries.
Look, I mess with Chaos because he lives far enough north. Some of the stuff he says is funny to me. Like, a car.
Yeah, like we don't use ours. I mean, you want some chowder? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He told me one time, hold on, he's got to go get something out of the drawer. I was like, you doing what to your drawers?
I'm going over to the drawer, that friggin' thing over there. You don't see it?
I told him, I said, dude, those are things you wear. He goes, no, the drawer. I was like, no, the drawer. I mess with him all the time.
Well, it took me a little while. We talk trust me when I tell you, Vault's 100% true. We talk literally every day. You know what I mean? So we've gotten used to each other's accents because when I first started talking to Vault, that very first phone call that I had, I didn't understand half the shit he was saying to me. I'm like, can you repeat that? He's like, what are you, deaf? And I'm like, kinda. I don't speak Vulcanese yet. You got to give me some time.
Y'all
all right?
are going to be in trouble when y'all get to the big house and they tell y'all, all right, y'all go load it in the big truck. We're going to the big house now. All right. We're going to pick up a couple aunties when we're on the way up there.
See, I have no idea what that means, but it can't be good.
How the hell did you get on this?
Vamp. Yeah, you're right about that. Dude, the Boston accent's the best accent in the world, man. We have a little bit of a variation on it, but yeah, you call up the cops, you'd be like, hey, I lost my bear. I can't find my bear anywhere. I love it. Oh, we got Paul in the chat.
We do?
Yes, we do.
All right, hold on. Paul said he had some interesting stuff to put in there. Paul, there you go. Because I've done talked to Paul Chaos. Because like I said, this was I thought was really, really interesting to me is when I went down the rabbit hole of what could be. And disclaimer again, like I said at the very beginning, this is an idea that was brought to me that made me go, And then whenever I started digging, it was like, could be real good. Like I said, if they're not, all I can say is DOGMAN's got a real close cousin in the Baboon because they look alike and they even act alike. I'm talking about, man, these things are like, y'all just go watch some videos. I didn't want to play any videos because I didn't, as far as I know, we're going to get a hit because I'm using some pictures from Google, but like I said, I put it in the disclaimer in the description and I said it. And so like I said, I wanted to use something everybody could go look at themselves and see. And that was the easiest thing I could come up with because y'all seen yourselves. I'm going to put it back up. Paul can remember this because like I said, he's the one that sent it to me. Where the hell did he go? how the hell do I lose shit on the computer and I haven't moved? Well, let Paul get back in here, and then I'll see if I can throw it up on the screen again, because I don't want to do it while he's trying to come in and it screws stuff up. Because I don't know how many people. Fear the Great White's in. Hey, Fear.
How's it going?
Hey, Jaws, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How y'all?
All right, you might have to turn yourself up just a little bit.
Let's see if I can figure it out how.
Just turn your phone or whatever you're on up. That way everybody can hear you real good, because to me, you were coming in a little light. I can still hear you, but hold on. We got another one in here. Paul, we got a full scope, y'all.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me see if this thing will let me screen share.
How are you going? How's it going, guys?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, it allowed me to screen share with 4 people in here. Wait a minute.
How about now? Can you hear me? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you can see your screen right now, Paul, but do you remember sending me that picture?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
The Beast of Seven Shoots.
Okay. All right. I couldn't remember what you said it was. Like I said, I didn't say it. Like I said, I don't even remember what are you laughing about?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just kind of, like, I love you guys, but it sounded like Paul said the Beast of Seven Shits.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of no, but that caught me and it made me giggle.
Hey,
Let's not go down the scale route again. Come on. Don't look at us.
Hey, if you saw that strolling through your woods, you probably have more than 7 shits.
Oh, God.
But I put up a close resemblance to Paul. And I was telling people, what do you think? This is the other one that I put up, and I put them side by side. Now, God damn it, what the hell are you doing? Still trying to run away on me.
Run away picture.
Hey, now look at that thing in the face and look at this face over here. Because like I said, every baboon I came across until I seen these, they had the different colorations on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, we were talking about the ears. Well, this thing's got the ears. It's got the same color, If that's not, like I said, they're really close cousins, is all I can say. And I don't like, it's got something in its hands. I can't remember what Paul told me, a dog or something in its hands or under its arm. And whatever it is pretty damn large.
Wow. Yeah. That is a wicked pisser right there.
It's interesting how when people are recounting like Dogman encounters, and they'll often say you've got the typical sort of German Shepherd head, but in other cases they talk about they've got like a dog-like head but cropped ears. And if you look at like the picture of the baboon there, well, you would say that it's got cropped ears. So
like I said, like I told everybody, we're not saying that's what this thing is, but what I told you, the same thing I told them. This guy, and I don't know how reputable I don't know who he is, and he was kind of shady how he got a hold of me, and then I can't get back a hold of him. But it made me start thinking, and like I said, I started asking questions. And the more I looked into it, it's like, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a close freaking resemblance there. I haven't seen nothing else that looks as close to a damn dog man as the baboon, even acts like the freaking baboon, is temperamental and just, like I said, these things are mean as shit. Kid called me, like, I think it was last Wednesday, and goes, dude, I just watched a video of a baboon beating the shit out of a damn lion with a stick. They use tools. And was it you, Paul, or was it Chaos that told me that some scientists were saying that the baboons were kind of, they thought they were entering the Stone Age, kind of like humans did. And that's kind of
Sorry.
Yeah, it was you. It was actually you. It came up conversation with you and me, but it was you that told me. So I'm presuming Chaos must have told you or someone else.
It must have been. But I'm going to blame Chaos is where I heard it. I heard it from somewhere. I'm blaming Chaos because I don't remember where I heard it from.
It's all his fault. And yes, Vamp, you're probably right. It's probably going to go way left.
Look, it can't get.
Always goes left. Always goes left. When's it going to go right? When is it going to go way right? That's what I want to know.
We're comparing Dogman to a freaking baboon. Okay.
Well, you've got your type 3 Sasquatch, which is often mistaken for a Dogman, and it's got the baboon face.
There's so much confusion and overlap and stuff.
Well, like I said, well, hold on. I got a picture of Patty. Hold on. I just so happen to got a picture. Everybody has seen and knows Patty. There you go. There's Patty in all her glory. And that looks really close to some Sasquatches that I've seen up north. Now, it doesn't really resemble the ones at Booger Valley, but I've seen some that kind of look like this, Patty here posed. But whatever the hell it is, people have said it's a man in a costume or not. All I can say is if that's a man in a costume, I don't want to mess. I'm shooting him on sight because if he's mad at me, he ain't getting close to me. That's a big fella.
Why would you dress up and then put breasts on your costume though?
I was gonna say that. That's some pretty big knockers right there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the other thing. A man is not gonna do that because how many of all the guys that are in the chat, how many of y'all have ever went to the store and bought your significant other female products that she has to have? They won't even do that. So why would they make a suit that has female parts on it? I just don't see that happening. They're going to make it as butchy as they can and, massy with muscles. And that's
there's quite a lot of interesting facts about Paddy, including the tracks. Actually, they took casts of the tracks, and when they took the tracks, it was in gravel, and the imprints on the gravel had sunk down to something like half an inch. And when they compared it with human footprints next to it, they could only sink down like quarter of an inch, not even close to it.
Well, the closest thing that was leaving tracks the same depth was, I think it was Roger's horse, and the horse weighed almost 1,100 pounds.
Yeah.
So
that's a female. That's Elsa right there.
That's one big lady.
Yeah. Look at the shape of the head. Look at the shape of the head over here. The picture paused at me. Yeah. All right. Let's say that somebody, like I said, somebody's got a hold of somebody's playing DNA doctor. They put in supposedly what he told me was Giantopithecus blackie, Squatch, and baboon DNA, and we have no idea whatever. And I did not know this until I got to looking because I was trying to figure out why baboon DNA. You can go look this up. Baboon DNA is almost identical to ours. It's the closest DNA that shows. I thought chimpanzees and stuff were. No, baboons are. Baboons are almost a direct match for DNA for us with the Leos and all. I'm not a DNA expert, so I had to go do some looking and some dumbed down reading for me to figure out what the hell they were talking about. But it's almost a genetic marker match for human DNA. I did not know that. I thought chimpanzees were, but no, it's baboons. So anybody ever calls you a baboon, you might have some baboon in you, is all I can say.
Well, we've all got primate DNA in our blood. We had the common split, from primates between 5 and 8 million years ago. Then the Australopithecines showed up, and then from there we were upright bipedal. Australopithecines, then hominids, and then us, basically.
Well, and for a comparison, like I said, here's a little scale that I found, and somebody got real creative for this scale because they even added Chewbacca and King Kong in for scale. But there's supposedly a Giantopithecus blackie, what they think that the size of it would be compared to a gorilla, a silverback gorilla, and orangutan. And I'm gonna tell you something. Orangutans are big. I didn't realize how big a orangutan was until I got next to one time. If them dudes stand up, they are almost as tall as a 6 foot man. They're like 1.4 meters tall. I think some of them can get all the way up to almost 2 meters tall. So that's taller than a human. That's taller than most humans. Gigantopithecus blackie was supposed to be like 3.5 meters. I'm using meters because that's what this damn thing is in. I guess they figured, they use the generic standard for everybody, which we still use feet and inches here. We're behind it.
Gigantopithecus was a quadruped, though. It wasn't bipedal.
Well, they don't really know. They say that it was probably both, and squatches can do both. I've seen a squatch on full blasted run, and there's even other people have stories where it was running through a field, and I know how fast I was going, and this thing is loping out there. It looks like a giant freaking silverback gorilla out in the field, and I'm doing like 30 miles an hour, and it goes from all fours to running upright to jump over a fence and then back down to all fours and keeps trucking. And actually kind of goes out in front of the vehicle and turns to the right and takes off. I've seen it on my own freaking eye. They'll go from one to the other, and it's such a fluid freaking motion it just looks weird when they do it.
Yeah, I've heard similar accounts actually from other eyewitnesses saying the same thing. Coming over like Browser Hills and finding them actually running away from the cars on all fours at tremendous speed.
Yep, and I don't know if they can get better speed on all fours or what it is, but I've seen them. Around here, we call it going 4x4 when they're down like that. And, dude, I've seen them bust through some brush doing that. You swear a damn dozer's hit it at you. It just sounds like all hell's breaking loose when they're going through there. Like I said, the DOGMAN, when I first seen the second one I seen, when I first saw it, it was down by Cedar Street, kind of on all fours and looking away from me, and it was kind of down. I thought that's the first thing that came into my mind was a freaking Bigfoot. I'm like, damn, that's not what we're looking for. And then it stood up and turned around, and I was like, what the fuck is that? That was my very words out loud. Because that don't look, that wasn't that. No, I was like, The other thing, Paul, is you remember how I described the hands that they kind of look like a human's hands, but they didn't. The thumb was set further back on the hand than what it looked like it was supposed to be.
Yes.
So I found where the hell did I put it at now? I know damn well I had. Oh, there it is. I lose more crap than. All right, yeah, we're still screen sharing. I want you to look at this picture here. And this is what really made me start like, okay, yeah, look at that. Is that not the hand that I described? The thumb set further back, the fingers are longer. It resembles a human hand, but it looks kind of, the only thing close to this that I've ever seen small was a damn raccoon. A raccoon like it. But the long, slender fingers, that is exactly, when I seen that, I was like, what the hell? This is supposed to be some kind of baboon right here. I don't know what species of baboon. It kind of, I say it's the baboon with the Elvis Presley hair. and this right here goes to show people. This is another thing that when other people share pictures of supposed to Bigfoot, its hair looks uniform and clean. Animals, their hair. Well, this is definitely, you can see it is a freaking animal. There's two of them. Their hair, they're in the wild. They're in, I think, enclosed captivity, but their hair is not all matted. Their hair is not all just shoved. People don't realize monkeys, especially, groom each other all the freaking time. I don't know if Sasquatches do it. I've seen some that hair was all jacked up, and I've seen some that nice. But this right here is a good example. But that hand right there, when I saw that picture, I was like, that's exactly the hand I remember. It so closely resembles the damn hand on that DOGMAN that it kind of floored me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
How you like the new setup where we can actually show pictures?
Pretty cool, man. I like it. Yeah, it's good. I'll start sending you some photos from now on.
Oh yeah.
Did you put that, that baboon photo I sent you? Put that one up. I thought it was quite a chilling picture, actually.
You talking about the which one?
Remember I sent you the Beast of Seven Shoots? I also sent you a picture of the baboon. It was from that film Ad Astra. Like it's in the same. It's in the same email. I tell you what, this thing coming at you, you bloody, you're talking about having the shits. I definitely would if this thing was chasing me. He's a way of looking for it.
Well,
this
did he just kick him? Did he just kick himself right off of this thing, or what? He must have hit a button or something.
Has he gone? No, he can't be gone. Surely not.
So, as a question, what is the Beast of the Seven Shoots? Because this is the first I've ever heard of it. Like, where is it? What is it? You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah, it's been out for years, that picture. But again, it's open to interpretation, isn't it? It looks like a dogman, but it also looks primate. Just exactly what you guys have been talking about. You know, you've got the K. Yeah, welcome back.
I hit the wrong. I was just talking away, y'all. And did not realize I'd cut myself out. I accidentally hit a button over here, and it shut me out of the damn stream. Until I looked up, and I'm like, wait a minute, 1, 2, where the hell am I at?
I told you.
Paul, you'll have to resend me that because I don't know where the hell I put it at.
Hang on one sec.
All right. But I like I said, I told people I have some different ideas and some different stuff I wanted to do. And wait a minute, is Fear still in here?
I don't see him.
There's Fear. I don't know how.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know how Fear got kicked out. I don't know if I actually kicked him out or when I actually kicked myself out a while ago. But
no, I kicked myself out.
Oh, okay. Oh, do you
accidentally?
Oh,
no, accidentally. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because if you get kicked out, I can let myself in, but I have to let everybody else in. That's the other thing that me and Cass, I really like using StreamYard, and then I figured out how to add OBS and stuff like that into StreamYard.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the Vault is learning some new tricks. I told you.
You should get that email shortly.
Vant wants to go left.
Oh, left, huh? Oh boy.
She always wants to go left.
Yeah, we need a navigator, so she's gonna have to get in here.
This is my thing, like me and Paul was talking about. Okay, like I said, this guy supposedly said 20 years ago or roundabout that some of these things escaped from a lab and then they started breeding on their own. Okay, let's say that they put the DNA of the baboon, the giant Pithecus blackie, and the Sasquatch together. All right. Then they started breeding on their own. We don't know once they started breeding on their own, you know, once you let Mother Nature loose, there's no telling where she's going to go and what direction she's going to go in.
Exactly.
So, like I said, that's the whole thing. Like I said, I'm pretty sure people were going to be like, oh, no, this actually, it is really, I'm not saying it's not a canine. I'm just telling y'all, this is another avenue that I was sent down. And this is the only thing that I've ever come across that closely resembles the dogman. I don't know what the hell the dogman actually is. If somebody's brave enough to go out there and swab his damn cheek, I'll pay for the DNA test.
Way closer than I care to be. So,
well, like I said, I'm not doing it. I can tell y'all that now because I like my arms and everything attached where they are, and I suck as a chew toy. But like I said, that until we have one, we know, yes, that is one. We take his DNA and look at it. We won't know. All I'm doing is giving y'all the same stuff I was getting. Everybody's always like, share your information stuff. Okay, this is information that was shared with me. I'm sharing it with y'all. Now, where the hell we go? You know,
Definitely an avenue worth going down for sure.
well, I'm talking. Why not? This is how you do things.
Yep.
And like I said, and this is the other thing. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some hate, some aggravation, you know, on this. All I want to let them know, fair warning, you won't get any validity here with your hate, your bull crap, and nothing else, because I'm going to hit the delete button, and then I'm going to put you on ignore and block. And guess what? You will never get through. There's a bunch of people on the block list. I checked the other day. There's 18 damn profiles that are on the block list.
I don't have quite that many, but I got several.
Like that. And once you go into the block hole,
you never come back.
I don't think about them no more. I don't know. Like it's you're down. You're so far down in the pit, me and Chaos. That's where we put all the trash and the the leftovers, Chaos's pizza boxes, and hit letters from his old friend. And oh, did you get to see the picture of Chaos's girlfriend earlier?
Man, okay.
I missed that one too.
Hold on.
I must have.
Here she is in all her glory.
Oh, she's hot.
I'm going to tell you. It's a good thing Lady Chaos isn't seeing this, because she'd be on the next flight to where you are, because she's jealous. So I'm just saying.
I don't think she'd be jealous. Look, y'all do kind of have the same beard going,
Well, I mean, like comb it and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know why? You know why I found that and put that up, y'all? Because he's always messing with me about this damn soap he's using, Dr. Squatch's soap. Beard so. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get him tonight.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. When I get out of the shower with that stuff, I feel like a rugged lumberjack motherfucker. Let me tell you.
I told you I'm gonna contact that company and let them know. Y'all need to put him as your sponsor, because y'all don't know how many times in a show he says it. Hey, the other thing is, y'all know Miss Lakea put up a new show.
Yep.
It was really good. I watched it earlier. It was really good. I liked it.
I did not, but I do now.
Hold on. I'm going to go get a link and leave it as soon as I figure out what the hell I just hit.
Do you feel like a lumberjack, or do you feel like a lumberjack?
Seriously, no, I don't. So, stop it. You just stop it. You son of a bitch. Stop it.
I blame this on Brand because she asked for it. Here is a link to Lakea's channel. Y'all go over there, take a listen, leave her a like. She's doing good. I like a lot of the stuff she's putting out. It makes you think.
She rocks.
But and from what I understand, she's got a little competition going on with Kaya.
Who, me?
What do you mean? Who you? You ain't no owl.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, I was saying competition with Lakea. I'm like, well, if that's the case, then I'm losing, apparently, from what I'm being told.
I would say that too. I just didn't want to tell you, outright, but you figured it out.
That's kind of a given against Lakea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything different from me or you or anybody.
Like I said, I figure we're going to get some heat on this, but I don't care. But like I said, I thought that everybody's been asking me about DOGMAN. I don't know that much. I know how to get myself in trouble with them, so I stay away from them. I try to anyway. But this really, really, really interesting. I thought. I was like, you know what? Everybody's been wanting a DOGMAN show. Let's give them one. It may not be exactly what they want, but it'll make them think. And I thought this was a good idea because, like I said, it carries you down the avenue. I didn't know anybody else had put it out there that DOGMAN was supposed to be a baboon until Cass was saying that. Who did you say in the chat? It was Great White, and who was saying that?
And Jason.
Jason, thank y'all, because I'd never heard that before.
I really never heard anybody else say it either, but I kind of stumbled across that same picture of the Beast of Seven Shoes.
Well,
and kind of thought that,
well, like I said,
But yeah, it never clicked.
I had this mysterious guy. I'm not going to say his name. He actually asked me for no, don't mention him or nothing. I'm actually mentioning him, but I am mentioning him. All I can say is don't be so shady next time. I don't mind talking to you. That's the other thing that kind of was like, do I really need to do this? But I'm telling y'all, it was shady. I even told Chaos and Paul the same thing. Look, this is kind of, I don't know if it's somebody's trying to mess with us or mess with me or whatever, which I'm a paranoid individual anyway. That, that vault tingle, that vault spidey sense.
I've been getting some dodgy phone calls as well from that conversation you and I had, to be honest.
I get those.
Wait a minute, hold on. Everybody pump the brakes. I got to hear this. What do you mean some dodgy phone calls?
Just weird numbers, like international numbers phoning me now, and like when I answer it, they just hang up.
Dude, me too.
I can't get to you on a regular phone line. Me and Chaos, neither one. It will not give me an international line. It says all international lines are suspended right now. And no, I've used them before because I got people overseas and stuff I call a lot. So that's the problem. But I was like, Cash, you sure you gave me the right number? He's like, yeah.
Not my luck, it'll be some dude in Africa pretending to be some model woman wanting to marry me, take me for my money.
Ooh, ouch!
I really love you. I just need you to pay for my plane ticket.
You send me 10,000 and I'll send you $1 million back. I promise.
Yeah. I'm in a bit of trouble here. I need your help. Here we go.
Hey, if y'all believe those, I've got a bridge to say y'all in New York. The paperwork's kind of funny, but everything's okay. I promise you.
Yeah.
That paid about $30,000 for one of those Nigerian princes. Because he was that good.
Hey, I gotta butt in real quick. The chat says that we're starting to get a little choppy.
Son of a bitch.
Right?
Not only are we going left, we're going choppy as well.
That's true.
Dogman around, I want to axe. I'm gonna cut that bastard down to size. Maybe if I cut him down to the size of a baboon, I got a fighting chance. Big bastard.
That's why I always use my 4-foot machete.
Well, let me go check see if I got that email yet.
Yeah, you should have it.
Trying not to. Yeah, I see Mr. Paul. Yeah.
It's the one underneath the Beast of Seven Shoots.
Yep. I'm downloading it. Matter of fact, I got the screen share up. I don't know if I do. Hold on. I got to go. Just the wrong.
I'll tell you what, if this thing was coming at me, I'd be throwing a Dogman at it.
Yeah, I know. I understand that CG computer, but yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go. Something.
Is this from a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Ad Astra film. It's from that. It's a scene when they're in space. This thing's coming at one of the astronauts.
Fuck that.
Forget
Yeah, that looks friendly. That doesn't look friendly.
That when you showed that drawing earlier, for real, that got me.
Well, all right, there you go. Side by side. Shit, what the hell are you doing? Stay still.
There's not a difference, and there's a little Pomeranian in that motherfucker's hand. He's just gonna eat.
I don't know what.
If that's not a Pomeranian, I don't know what it is.
I don't know what that is. All I can tell you is just it's in his arms. It's pretty good size. So
it looks like the rear end of a little piglet.
That's what I thought.
It could possibly be a baby baboon because they have bare butts. But,
I don't know, but
I see
that
a Pomeranian or a pig's ass one. Yeah, I agree.
Looks like a pig's ass to me.
It does kind of look like a pig's ass.
like I said, I don't know if that thing right there, what it's got in it, even what the hell it is, but it has got. I guarantee it's got a cousin in a baboon. You know, it and a baboon cross. Somebody along the fence jumped the fence with a baboon somewhere. It had to. But
That's not a bad space. I don't know what it is.
you're talking about this picture. Are you talking about this picture or this
No,
picture?
the one before that.
This picture?
No,
The
let's
one
see.
with the baboon at the camera.
Yeah, I think it's one before both of those. Maybe, or maybe right after. I don't remember. I can't. I'm blind as shit. And I'm
This
a little bit far. That motherfucker. Yes.
But all right, now I'm
I
going
knocked my headphones out of my ears and everything. Now, I don't. You know, I said I never saw the one when I was a kid, but I had nightmares of that motherfucker my whole life. I'm not kidding. Something like
One,
that. And
the one on the left was definitely got a more sort of hominid sort of look about it. It's got a tail though.
like this one right here was actually done by a little kid. I don't remember who did this one or who did this one. But what I thought was funny is the way they're standing and everything. Like I said, I didn't know there was such thing as a hairless
that
baboon.
motherfucker.
That is a hairless baboon. Now you tell me the posture and stuff like that of that, the way that thing sitting, the way that thing was drawn sitting, they're so damn close together that it's not even funny. Look at the legs. The only thing, like I said, the feet. I don't know if all baboon feet look like this or not. I have no idea. I haven't never tried to put shoes on a baboon.
That would be funny to watch actually. You trying to put shoes on a baboon. I'd pay money for that.
Really.
Man, I got
When I
a
was a kid, the one I swear I'd never seen it, or I thought I never saw it. That shit was weird.
scratched or bit me. I'm fighting back.
That ugly hairless.
And look at the ears on this. That right there to show you like those crop-looking ears.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those ears. You can really. I don't look. The more I look at this, I think somebody shaved this son of a bitch.
It looks shaved, but
I want to go. They had to put that fucker to shave it. I wouldn't want to try to do it.
I'm not getting close enough to shave it.
No, not.
I wouldn't just shave my buddy's back, let alone that ugly.
Well, you got to remember, a baboon got these. Shit. Damn it. It's got these for chompers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they got like 2-inch long teeth.
Yeah, does that not? Some people say a damn DOGMAN when they grimaced at them, and yeah. And then you got this sinister looking SOB. Let me find him. Where do you bet?
Some serious teeth we got.
Look at this dude.
Yeah.
If that ain't just, I'm fixing to fuck you up. Look right there.
Does that not project evil like everybody says?
Yeah. That's a baboon. You know, that's not. That's a.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
I think that because I keep getting in the chat that we sound choppy, I'm starting to wonder if maybe 4 people in a screen share might be making a little choppy.
All right, hold on 1 second, and I can fix that.
See if we can fix that, or see if that's the deal.
All right.
Because we all sound good over my headphones, but I mean,
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, everybody's coming through good on my end too, and it's showing up good here on the feed. I got good strength.
How about now? Can you hear us now?
I'm talking about Paul is all the way in freaking land down under, and he's pinging me with like a 3.6.
That's right. He's just outside of Hobbiton, so
Hobbit Town?
That's me.
What you said? Hobbit Town?
You shall not pass.
Yeah. You shall not pass.
Oh no!
You shall not pass.
There you go.
Coffee all over all the shit. And I don't think none of this shit's waterproof. So hold on.
All right. Well, I heard it's getting better, so maybe the screen share, probably adding OBS in that might have kind of messed up the signal a little bit on the other end. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I didn't think my microphone would pick it up.
Sorry.
My bad. Sorry.
Sorry,
it was kind of getting choppy at the same time you were showing all the pictures. So I wonder if that's maybe got something to do with it.
I don't know. Like I said, on my signal strength is banging out the freaking wall here.
Yeah, I'm getting much better. I think the screen share might have been messing things up on the YouTube end.
It might have been because, like I said, when I say my signal strength is bad, yeah. If I still had the screen share up, I could show you. I'm getting
kind of stuck a little bit.
chaos the same. Chaos the same my signal strength, and it's I got more. I got enough for all of us in chat and everybody else. I've got all.
Yes. Vault sends me pictures.
You got like 7G instead of 5G.
Well, hold on. I can tell you now. Drink that is.
Yeah, I think we're doing much better. Everybody's saying, "Hey, much better." So I
Yay! I'm so happy.
That's good. There we go. I've been practicing with that accent, by the way, waiting for certain stories to come along to challenge my lyrical waxing, so to speak. So,
My best. My best accent is that weird one I was just doing.
My best. I try to talk plain English.
I don't think it's an accent. I think that's more of a lifestyle choice.
Well, it is June. So
not mine, but my pretend one, I guess.
Sure.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with all of us.
Yeah, all 1,000, 1,200 of us.
Yeah,
1,000, 1,200. What the? That would be 2,200, right?
something like that. Yeah, I failed math, so I'm just gonna go with that.
I didn't. I was good at math. I sucked at everything else though, like logic.
I got a little bit of that, but not very much.
No.
My teachers were all happy I left.
Mine just wanted me to apply myself, and I said, "To what?" They never had an answer.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I gave them hell.
Well, apparently, when you left school, your parents got a payout.
Like I said, the teachers. They were happy when school was out, and then I didn't come back. So
it's funny. I hated school, but I really liked college. Yeah, it's weird.
I hated school, so I didn't go to college.
That's what I remember about college.
I did all the partying. I just didn't go to college.
All right, right now, wait a minute. What the hell did I hit? Why the hell am I bouncing off of London?
What? London?
I'm
Wow.
London, but I'm probably not. But I might be.
No, all right. For some reason, it's pinging London, and I've got it says 201.9 megabytes down, 238.4 up. And it's for some reason it pinged London. I don't know why.
I get like 2.8 at the most, not 328.8.
Yeah, like my stuff's just sitting around 400 up and down, sometimes 7 to 8. So like I said, I got plenty of.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, I want some people in chat. What do y'all? I was reading chat, y'all. I'm sorry, my brain don't think like that. What are some of your ideas, Paul and Great White, on what we brought to the table tonight of what could be or couldn't be.
Great White, you want to go first? Because my answer is going to be rather long-winded.
Mine is just, it fucking blew my mind. I mean, things I've already thought about that never clicked until tonight, and connected a lot of dots. I mean,
Well, I said,
talked about before the one, the something that brushed its hair against my face and stuff when I was a kid, and I thought I closed my eyes or whatnot. Seeing that fucking little baboon drawing, that's the same thing I dreamed about. Eating my fucking arms and shit off about every night the whole time I was a kid.
well, like I said before, all those drawings, all the pictures, all the drawings y'all saw, except for the one with the what I think is baked up on the hillside of the deer, were all stuff I went to Google and pulled off of Google to for tonight, because that was, I wanted something anybody could go see for themselves, where it was put up, what it was labeled as, the story behind it, all that. All you got to do is start searching DOGMAN, Baboon, just you name it, put it in there. It'll bring up a bunch of crap it makes you ask more questions than it tries to be like, okay, well, that's not right, or it answers.
Right. That's
well,
everything clicks except for the backwards legs, but I've never seen the whatever.
All right. Well, I'm curious what Paul has, because like I said, I contacted Paul. I think it was Sunday or Monday. I can't remember, one of those days.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of rung a bell with me as well. I remember watching one of my sort of heroes of old was the late Lloyd Pye. I remember watching a YouTube video that he put out called "Everything You Know Is Wrong," which discusses human origins, and I think it's really relevant. I think it answers at least half of everything that you're kind of sort of talking about or going with the the sort of baboon DOGMAN type thing. So I'm going to shamelessly plagiarize him on what I'm about to say. Some of you might have seen that. If you haven't, I'd recommend go and watch it. It's extremely funny and entertaining, if nothing else. And he's got some seriously insightful views on things. So he talks when he's doing business. He talks about human origins, what's it all about. We came at the primordial soup and then got to us, and all of a sudden, instead of eat, sleep, and fuck, it's what's it all about. That's basically how we've evolved to become a bit more civilized than animals. So approximately 5 to 8 million years ago, you got a common split from primates. 4 million years ago, there's signs of the upright walking primates. We've got the Ayatollah tracks in Tanzania about 3.5 million years ago, measured in ashfall. Pre-humans around this time have very primate heads. When you look at depictions in like textbooks and all that, they've got the very sort of primate heads, but very human-like bodies. What he was saying was basically it's kind of made to look at that so that we're kind of misled a wee bit about our history. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, found 1974. It's one of the first Australopithecines found. We've got a hip joint, knee joint, very similar to humans, which proves she walked upright. It's fair to say, though, none of our bones were actually. There's not a single human bone in our body, though. They just had a similar hip joint, similar knee joint, which proved that they could walk upright. From 4 million years ago to 2 million years ago, we have these upright walking chimps. 2 pairs of upright walking chimps and 2 pairs of upright walking gorillas. You've got Australopithecus afarensis, africanus, robustus, and boise. Yep. And then at 2 million years ago, there's a transformation. We go from the Australopithecines, these 2 pairs of chimps and 2 pairs of gorillas, to suddenly we've got hominids. And there's a transformation there. There's not enough time for there to be we're told that it's a transition, that we evolved from the Australopithecines into these Homo sapiens. But looking at the fossil record, there's not enough. You'd have to have like another 100 pairs of cousins showing that evolutionary stage. So it's suddenly boom, the homos are here. It's like, well, how did that happen?
I know the feeling.
And then yeah, so you've got these
So-
again. You've got these hominids walking around from 2 million years ago. You've got Homo habilis, Homo erectus, archaic, and Homo neanderthal. Again, 2 upright walking pairs of chimps, 2 walking upright pairs of gorillas, but in a more human sense. Okay. Again, overnight transformations, and then only 120,000 years ago, we go from these hominids to Cro-Magnon, Homo sapiens, us. It's an overnight change, looking nothing like what came before. And again, all the bones in the hominids, not a single human bone in it. The bones are a lot thicker. When you look at Neanderthal bones, they're supposed to be our closest. That's supposed to be what we've originated from. There's a missing link in between. But when you compare, for example, finger bones from a Neanderthal to a human finger bones, it's like comparing shovel handles to broom handles. When you look at their skulls, there's no forehead, huge brow ridges, deep set eye sockets for night vision. These are primate eyes. Huge wide nasal passages, indicating like a flat nose spread across their face. We've got a little uplifted bone on our face, which lifts our bone up off our face. We've got small rectangular eye sockets, very poor night vision. We've got upper jaws on hominids stick out of the face, the same with all the primates. Ours is tucked in with a flat mouth, nice chin. This is only 120,000 years ago. Going from these almost primate-looking animals to us. It's not possible to go. These the missing link will fill in the gap, and that'll neatly tie everything up. But again, you need about 50 cousins all lined up behind that missing link to get from that to us. There's just not enough time.
Exactly.
So something's intervened there. Something's playing a hand there, which is manipulating life on Earth as we know it.
Now, for those of y'all that don't know, this is the reason why I asked, well, why did Paul talk to Paul about this? Because Paul's a smart motherfucker. That's why I call Paul. All right.
Going back to the bones, guys, right? Your bones are a function of the torque your muscles can generate, yeah? If not, your muscles would break your bones, all right? So when you look at hominid, pre-human bones, you're looking at an animal that's incredibly strong compared to us, all right? Again, the primate bones, Neanderthal bones, again, way bigger than ours, yeah? So when you compare the strength of these animals or these hominids to us, there is no comparison. We're like children to them in terms of strength.
Well, since you brought up the hominid thing, or the caveman, whatever you want to call it, because you named about 40 different damn versions of supposedly ancient humans that I can't tell you all those names. But have y'all ever heard of the cave people that live up and down the Appalachian Trails?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I've never ever myself run into them. I've been around where I caught glimpses and stuff that I can't tell you what it was, but they made different noises than what a Bigfoot or what I know to a Bigfoot to be. I'm talking about it was more of a grunting noise, but it sounded more human. I took it that it was, and they would whistle a lot. Now Bigfoot does whistle, but Bigfoot's whistle is really like it's like 10 times octave than them. But that sounded more like it was making more human noises. I didn't know if it was like some of the hill folks that were doing stuff that they didn't want me around and alerting other ones. But then I started hearing tales of the cave people up there. They say there's caveman and stuff that lives up there. I personally haven't seen it, but that's one of the things that I'm fixing to start looking into, because like you said, there's so many different hominid species that supposedly live where there's some missing stuff somewhere.
Yeah. Well, look, you've got. I'm glad you mentioned a few of the things there, because when you look at human throats compared to, again, like primate throats or hominid throats. When we look at the fossil records, our throat is a complete redesign from any of these primates or hominids, Australopithecines. You look at any monkey in a zoo or any chimpanzee, they can eat, swallow, breathe all at the same time. We try and do that. Snot comes out our nose and we choke on our own spit, kind of thing. They can make tremendous noises. They can make ear puncturing noises like hoots and hollers and screams. The volume that can come out of them is tremendous compared to us. But of course, we can break sounds down into small pieces. We can modulate, which is what gives us speech. Yeah, none of these hominids, none of these primates can do that. And the same would apply to Bigfoot. All the different types of Bigfoot that are out there. None of them can speak because they don't, as Lloyd Pye says, they don't pack the gear. We've got a complete. Yeah. Another interesting. Neanderthals have had bigger brains than we do. Somehow our brains got smaller, but we got smarter. Yeah?
Yep. Well, that's just like in all those people that are cave people that you named and all that. There's one that just recently they found, the Hobbit. See there, where's the link that goes along with? Like I said, there's so many different gaps. It's hard to say where the missing link is because it ain't missing link. It's missing links.
Well, I'm going to come to that as well. All right, hang on a sec. I'm just going chronologically through these notes that I've taken. All right. So by the way, Neanderthals were on this planet less than 30,000 years ago. There's a massive overlap between when humans first appeared and when Neanderthals first appeared. All right, and then when we look at like the premonition, I spoke about this before, but premonitions, you've got your grasslands, your savannas, your lightly wooded areas, prairies. These are all like the good places to live in. They're easy to live in. These are places where we find fossils, yeah. And then when you go into like places like the deep, dense forests and the jungles and swamps, you don't find fossils. Okay, and that's like a good example of that is chimpanzees. There's not a single fossilized skull of a chimpanzee that's ever been found to date. All right, because of where they live. In the woods, they don't make fossils. Okay, so up until 30,000 years ago, all these hominids were leaving fossils. They were leaving evidence behind to say that they'd been here, that we could find. Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden they disappear. Yeah, and it's assumed that they've gone extinct. Now remember, two upright walking, almost chimpanzee-like hominids, and two upright gorilla-like hominids. Okay, they all disappear, right, and assumed to have gone extinct. But what if we just roll them somewhere where they don't leave fossils, i.e., into these forests, these deep jungles? And would that not explain the hundreds and thousands, right, of sightings of Bigfoot all around the world that we talk about now? Yeah?
Yep.
Of course it does. Right?
I told you.
You've got. Let's go through it. You've got Bigfoot, Sasquatch, 7 to 10 feet tall, 700 to 1,000 pounds on average. North America, lives in lower montane forests. Yeah. The Yeti, 5 to 7 feet tall, 300 to 600 pounds on average. Himalayas, upper montane. You got the Almas, 5 to 7 feet tall, 300 to 600 pounds. South Russia, Western China, United States, lower montane. They're supposed to be the smartest of the group. So you got the Bigfoot and the Yeti, which is the gorillas, and then you got the Almas and the Agogways, which the Agogways are the pygmies that you're talking about, 4 feet tall, 200 pounds, seen in Africa, South America, Indonesia, in the jungles. 4 hominids, 2 upright walking chimp groups, 2 upright walking gorilla groups. All right, supposed to have gone extinct. We've pushed them into the jungles and the swamps and the forests of the world, yeah. And I would put it to you guys, and I think Lloyd Pye is 100% right here, that this is what we see today as Bigfoot. Okay, now you're going to get your variants. In any family, you're going to have. You look at the crow family, for example. Yeah, you've got magpies, jackdaws, ravens, crows. Yeah, you're going to get different. you're going to get different variants of these different types of hominids, yeah. But essentially, that's what it is.
I know you left one off the
right. Yeah, I know. I've deliberately left that one. I'm going to come back to that. All right.
Okay.
All of these groups leave tracks, right? That's how we know they're there. Okay.
Yep.
Anthropologists will tell you they're all fake, right? Now humans have been studying tracks for thousands of years. We are good at it, all right? Part of the reason why we were able to survive is because of our ability to read tracks. You know, a ranger could take a group of school kids and teach them how to read tracks, and within a day they could spot a fake track from a real track. But if a ranger says that spots a Bigfoot track and says that's real, that looks real to me, the anthropologist will say, well, you're wrong about that there. Okay. And this is the kind of sort of almost deception that we're kind of being led into believe, because if it turns out that these Bigfoots and that are hominids, then our whole history is wrong.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time history has gotten it wrong. There's one cryptid that's Bigfoot related I've been fascinated for a while, and I'm actually thinking about getting more into it and doing some investigation on it. It's in your neck of the woods now.
Oh yeah. I've heard there's a few things out here, but I've never heard anyone talk about it. But just to finish on that last point there, Volt, we've spoken about fossils that we find in the primo niches.
Chaos muted.
And sorry?
I was letting Chaos know. I don't know if he did it on purpose or what, but Chaos was muted. He muted.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, we're talking about this, the baboon-like primate stroke Bigfoot. Yeah, I would put it to you that something like that would be living exclusively in forests. Okay, and it has gone unseen or unrecorded as far as fossils go, which is why it's not in our fossil history, because in these areas they do not leave fossils. Well, so it's quite possible that has been living alongside us for hundreds of thousands of years, and because we don't live in the deep dark jungles,
realize what it takes to leave a fossil. Just because something dies and nobody disturbs it, doesn't mean it's going to leave a fossil. There's got to be a lot of things that line up just right for bones to fossilize. And
this is how a fossil is made, right? An animal goes down to the water hole, all right, and then all of a sudden a lion jumps in its back or whatever, and then something else comes along, chases the lion off, but the animal's been killed. It gets stomped down into the mud. Water comes up, goes over it, and covers it. The flesh, it's now covered in mud. Nothing's eating it. Okay, the flesh rots off the bones, and then the minerals that are in the mud leach into the bones, and it becomes fossilized. Yeah. Then millions and millions of years later, one of us comes along, and by miracle, we find it and know what it is. That's how we find fossils.
Exactly. I had somebody not too long ago try to tell me that fossils they didn't believe in them. They were fake, and they believed they were planted. I fell out of my chair.
That's bullshit. That's absolute horseshit.
Yeah, we won't go very much further into that. Yeah.
I had to cough. Sorry.
What?
There's one last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll give you back your show, Volt.
Please go on. You're never gonna get this shit from me. Just go on and talk.
The human foot, right? Now we look at Bigfoot tracks, right? Whether it be Yeti, one of the Amas, the Gogways, they've got a very distinctive foot. Okay, the ankle joint is more centered over their foot. And when you look at their actual toes, the line of thrust as they walk goes from their heel through the middle of their foot, and then they push off on all of their toes. Okay, and it's a very straight line of thrust. It's a very efficient foot for walking. All right, but when you look at the human foot, all right, now bear in mind that we're supposed to have evolved from these things. All right. Keep that in mind, right? When you look at the human foot, right, we go from our ankle bones tiny compared to theirs, right? Except further back on the foot, okay? We've got an arch in our foot. meaning that when we come off our heel, we have to curve around that arch, okay, and then back across, diagonally across, back onto the ball of our foot, and then push off on our big toe. And what happens there, right, is we actually, because of that, it's a very inefficient way of walking. We wear out our knee joints and we wear our hip joints because of the way we walk, because of the design of our foot.
Yep.
As Lloyd Pye puts it, we've got a crummy foot.
Yep. And see, Bigfoot's foot is totally different from our foot. It looks like our foot, but it's not like our foot. Their ankle and where their leg bone attaches to their foot is further forward, and they don't have an arch. They actually have a break in almost, everybody calls it the mid-tarsal break. Like I said, I'm not no scientist, so I just call it the center part of the foot. It actually pivots. It's weird on how, because when they push off, a lot of people, it makes weird looking tracks. Sometimes there are tracks, it slides back. It actually looks longer than what it is. And then people are like, well, I don't see the toes. That's because it's done pushed down and fell in because of the way they move. And the way when they step on something, it's like their foot will mold over the top of it because they're used to walking without shoes. You try to walk through places without shoes, your foot is too tender. Your foot is too rigid. When you step on a rock or a stick, your foot doesn't mold over it to go over it. It's hard. Bigfoot foot will flex with rocks, sticks. I'm going to do some tracking and show some people some actual Bigfoot track. And all Bigfoot tracks don't show up like you see on these nice. No, those are really rare and hard to find. You get part of a foot, part of an outside heel, part of a front foot, maybe every once in a while a couple of toes. It's not as easy to track as what most people think. Oh, well, there's tracks. How you just spot? No, it's a lot of hunting involved in it.
I just feel that there's a shit ton of things that have gone on in our history. When I say our history, I mean planet Earth's history.
That's where a lot of people get mad when I tell them, Paul, that when they say, well, Bigfoot uses, I think, it's got a lot of supernatural because, it can use portals. Okay. This is where I have the hard time with this at, and I totally go the opposite direction. I'm not going to call you a liar or nothing else, but if a Bigfoot can portal from place to place, why does he ever leave a track? Why does he ever get seen crossing the road? And if he can go invisible, why wouldn't he stay invisible all the time?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing with that.
All right. Well, let's put it this way, right? Okay, we've got supposed UFOs, okay? And people believe very, very strongly that there's real alien life out there, like far superior alien life. Okay, now let's look at it from a different slant, right? If I was to say to you, is it possible for us to have time travel right now? Okay, most of us in here would say, well, actually, nah, I don't think so, nah. But in 1,000 years' time, do you think it's possible that we could discover time travel? Well, yeah, maybe. Right now, if you had time travel, the first thing you would do, right, is use time. If you had time travel, you'd probably be able to fly around in space and go and visit other planets. Yeah, you would terraform planets. You would go back in time, right, millions and millions of years ago, and you would plant seeds like you do in the garden. All right. Fast forward a few million years, you go back to that planet and go, right, it's ready for stage 2 of terraforming, and then you put more life forms in there, yeah, and so on and so forth, yeah, and all of a sudden you've got a planet that's habitable. It's got an atmosphere. It's got vibrant life in it. It's got it's an Eden for whoever wants to use it.
Duck, you're right. They do see them in the higher mountain areas, but they find more evidence down in the lower, what they call the tree line. See, the Himalayas actually have a tree line. I forgot what actually the elevation is, but after a certain elevation, foliage doesn't grow because of lack of oxygen and lack of carbon dioxide.
That's what I mean when I say lower montane. That's where the trees are. Upper montane is where there's not. But there's evidence of Yetis living up it. I mean, bear in mind, if you've got two competing, quite often you'll see animals that compete. One will become nocturnal, one one will be through the day. One will then go, instead of feeding on the same vegetation, it will then adapt to something else. I think that's what you're seeing there a little bit. You're seeing two hominid species rather than coming into conflict with each other. One's staying slightly higher up on that mountain range, and the other one.
Not just that, you take into the account, like I said, the higher you go in elevation, the lack of oxygen you have. Us, if we go there, we have to acclimatize ourselves, and still we have to carry oxygen and everything else with us. Now, the Sherpas that live there, man, they run up and down in mountains like goats. Now, think of a Bigfoot that stays in those higher elevations even longer than the Sherpas. They're more acclimatized than anything there. So if I was them and something got out to me, I'm going to go where only I can survive and get away from them. That means I'm going to go higher up in elevation, so you can't chase me because you just don't have the willpower after a certain length to do it. A lot of animals do the same thing. It's just a form of being able to get away.
Yeah, but I think there is a balance in any ecosystem. There's a balance. There's a coexistence. Okay, you can't live your life in perpetual war with another species. There has to be some sort of compromise there. You'll always have the skirmishes that overlap, but eventually, one species will settle into another area and leave the other species dominant in the other.
I just had some in chat. Vault, holy hell! What? What's going on now? What did I do?
What's he done?
It's probably easier for me to deny stuff I have done than haven't done. Chaos did it.
Sorry about that.
But like I said, it's that all animals have different things they do to escape. And for all we know, Bigfoot looks at us as not equal or prey. Yeah, I think sometimes they do look at it as prey, but let's say they don't. Let's say they just look at us as a predator. Any animal that is prey they have escape routes. They have things they do to get away from predators. Like let's say zebras. They don't just run out. The one that runs out by itself, that's the one that's getting caught. They stay together because their body patterns help fix where they can't zero in on one. They run in herds. Schools of fish school up because it's harder to pick out individuals. I believe that the Yetis are so climatized. Like that's the reason why people do see them way up there in elevation, is because they were trying to get the hell away from you.
Well, if you look at humans, like one-on-one, a Bigfoot would pop your head off like a pimple. Okay.
Yeah.
But the one thing that sets us apart, right, is that we can work together in groups. We can hunt in big groups. We've got a savage territorial imperative. We will defend. I mean, you just got to look at history, guys, and look at what we fight over. We fight over territory on a daily basis, okay? And we will kill, maim, and slaughter anyone that tries to take what's ours, okay? That's just how we are as human beings. So
we fight over every damn thing.
Yeah.
There's been war started over the stupidest shit. And it's because we're not a peaceful race, is the easiest thing I can tell you.
No.
In the human race, yes, there are some that are way more passive than others, but the general population of humans, they're a warring, clandestine type figure. I'm talking about you get 3 or more together in a mob, and it only takes one to start doing stupid stuff, and it's like it's contagious. It just goes through it.
Well, let's put it another way, right? Suppose, right? You've got 3 or 4 kids, okay, and 3 of them come running back, okay, and tell you that a bear has just killed one of your kids. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go find that fucking bear.
You're going to go and find that bear, and you're going to shoot that son of a bitch dead, yeah. And you'll probably have half the neighborhood go with you. Is that not a fair comment to make?
Yeah, so, it's known. I'm talking about. You look at. All right, let's say a known wild predator into, we're going to say, one of the random people in the chat's neighborhood, everybody in that freaking neighborhood is going to come unglued. All they got to do is think that they're living there. I'm talking about whoever's house that is, even if there's not living there, they're going to have to prove that person ain't living there, because every mama, daddy bear is going to come out of them. And I believe that goes for every species. You want a bad fight? Think of a cow. Everybody thinks of a cow as just a clandestine, just peaceful animal. Get between a cow and its calf. That son gun will mow you over.
I do laugh. I mean, you watch like these movies. You've got like Jurassic Park, and they're looking at the what do you call them, the brachiosaurs, and they're like big genital giants. I tell you what, those things would bloody stomp you into the mud. There's no way they'd put up with you. Like, some of the most bloody dangerous animals on the planet aren't meat eaters; they're herbivores. There's more people in Africa die of hippos and bloody rhinos and elephant attacks than any from crocodiles or lions or leopards or hyenas. They're savage.
Yeah, a hippo. As a matter of fact, the hippo is the most dangerous. It's killed more people in Africa than any other animal.
Yeah, no,
they're mean. They'll attack boats, all kind of shit. And a hippo's I tell you what. Go to National Geographic and look this up, because I seen this and I was like, really? Hippos will push they'll find a big nest of crocodiles, and they'll push their babies up in that nest of crocodiles. The crocodiles won't even think twice about it. They're not going to snap that baby, because then they know they got to deal with mama. And a hippo will beat the ever living shit out of a big ass gator.
Yeah, they've got tremendously long teeth on them. It's more like tusks that they've got in their mouth. You get bit one of them, it's adios.
Yeah, like I said, hippos kill more people. You can go look the numbers up yourself, and look, hippos kill more people than any other animal. Yep. And over there. Guides, if a guide thinks the hippo's there, nope, they're not going.
Stop that. You go swimming in this little pool here. I'll stay on dry land. Thank you very much.
Well, to get back to the baboons and stuff like that, I said, I didn't realize how mean and evil them little bastards were. Them some bitches don't care who you are or what you are. They'll pick a fight with you.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that was like, that they're the way they act reminds me of a DOGMAN. DOGMAN will pick a fight just for the hell of it. What in the shit was that?
You heard that?
Yeah, I thought I done hit a button over here. That's what happened.
No, sorry, that was me. I didn't think you'd hear that. I thought that my bad. Sorry.
Dude, I was looking over at the board. I'm like, what fucking button did I hit this time? Because I haven't played but just a few of the sounds tonight, because we were doing the other stuff. But hey, I got to do it again to y'all. Hold on.
Oh shit!
Here comes the sound.
In all honesty, folks, when I did that last week, I did not know it sounded like that. I seen the word scream. That is not a scream. I don't know who labeled that, but that is not a scream. Not in what I know as a scream. So I apologize to everybody when I did that.
When I first heard that, I thought somebody had pressed play on the old Pornhub.
I wanted to apologize because I did not. I was like, everybody's like, did you hear what the hell that was you were playing? I was like, yeah, it's a scream.
That was so funny.
Yeah, I apologize, people. That button has been, it's got a big triple X now by it. I've got to get that button replaced.
It's not the button, it's the sound.
Yeah, that was no bueno. But like I said, that I apologize to people.
Who was it that did the recording? Was it Lakea?
No, I don't know where they got that from, but somebody out there decided to play a. Look, I got buttons that was marked and put up by somebody else, and I said,
sounded more like damn to me.
Whoa.
Sorry, I apologize. I probably shouldn't have said that. She's going to kill me now. I don't care. I'm a little life on the edge.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get a pass. So, I'm just saying.
I'm going to get nuked.
Since he said that, we've all heard Vamp, so let's do a comparison. Maybe on a feeding frenzy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Vamp, you asked for that. You said go.
Tiptoe carefully around this one, guys.
But like I said, I thought I done hit another button over here again. I'm like, fucking button was that? I hadn't heard that one. I found out something. See, most of these buttons are touchscreen. You know those little cord, like the braided cords? You know those will set off a touchscreen because that's what kept setting it off last weekend. My mic, not my mic, but my earphones are on a braided line, and it kept coming across and hitting the buttons. I keep hearing.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. It was good though. It was priceless.
Yes, I don't remember what was going on, but all of a sudden, I think this one started right here. I think that one started, and the cast is like, well, okay.
Sounds like you're getting beamed up.
Yeah. But like I said, I got a few more tricks up my sleeve that, like I said, each week I'm going to try to roll out something else, and you never know what week Vault may pull out the old camera. And like I said, I still haven't even played with the green screen yet. You never know. We may put, I may take, the picture I've got of Chaos's old ex and him, and kind of let them have a meeting. That's who the screaming is.
Who?
Chaos. Well, I'm telling you, she may not be cute, but that don't mean that Daddy can't get the job done.
Your cat does what?
You done scared the man's pussy. What are you gonna do?
Hold on a second. If that scared her.
Ooh, do it again. Man, imagine getting that in your ear, as you're trying to sleep at night. Like, whoa, down, boy, down.
No, imagine you're camping on the side of a hillside, and there's nothing around for miles, and all of a sudden you're by yourself, and you can hear that right outside your tent by your head. That has happened to me.
Actually, that reminded me of a story. A friend of mine, he was up in the Cairngorms in Scotland. And it was the middle of winter, which is a stupid time to be going up in any mountains. He's going camping with a friend of his. And of course, later on that night, he goes out the tent and puts on the werewolf mask. Scares the shit out of his friend. This guy was from Spain, his Spanish fella. What, the werewolf trying to kill me, and it was him, But when they got up in the morning, they were having a look around, and there's lots of snow everywhere, and they found these tracks in the snow. They're like huge footprints tracks. They're thinking, oh, somebody's playing a trick on us, until they looked at the length of strides, and like the strides were easily 2 meters apart.
Yeah, that ain't a person.
That's not a person, not in deep snow either. There's no way you could. And of course, that kind of, they were thinking, oh, well, maybe just go back now. But there's a legend called the Grey Man in Scotland, which is supposed to be one of the Bigfoots.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective, like I said, a lot of people don't, especially in America, we're still behind the times and slow. We don't use meters. To put it into perspective so people understand how far that is, an average person, 6 foot person, I'm gonna say, that's only about, that's not even 2 meters. That's what, 2.8 meters. I mean,
2 meters. 2 meters is 67 feet. Yeah, 7 feet is 2.1. 6 feet is 1.8. So you're somewhere in between. 6.5 feet is the stride.
You're looking at a big boy stride. That's some long goodness.
If you were walking in snow, your paces would probably be something like maybe 2 feet, maybe 3 feet at the very most.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of the size, and obviously how deep the tracks were as well. It was bloody heavy, whatever this thing was. But yeah, they kind of up sticks and left after that. They're like, no, stop this. We're not staying here.
Average person walking over decent terrain, you're looking at 2 inches for average stride. I know people are going to be like, oh, just find somebody in your family, let them walk outside, and have them walk by places that you can marker and then measure it. It's going to be close depending on how tall they are. A 6 foot person may be a little longer stride, but it's going to be anywhere from 22 inches to about. You don't take really big, like Paul said, we have a really shitty way of walking, and you don't cover a lot of ground. Our strides are really short compared to our length of legs and everything. I think the show went pretty good. We haven't had nobody go crazy up in the chat or nothing. That's what I was expecting, especially when we start talking about other things that it could possibly be. Me and Chaos were like, really? I don't know if we really want to do this or not. Where the information came from. But I was like, well, why not? Everybody's been wanting a Dogman show. And like I said, it's not like we're trying to convince nobody. Hell, I don't even know. I'm still trying to convince myself.
I mean, it could have been somebody just messing with us or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's nice that it went as well as it did, and with everybody kind of throwing the feedback in on that. That was pretty nice. I like that.
Messing with us and trying to get a reaction, boy, didn't they get fucked.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Well, I'll tell you one thing with all that, with that like information bomb that you dropped, Paul. Kind of had my head spinning. I'm like, well, geez, I gotta start doing some research because, and as well, I think I need to get you on an episode of the Chaos Effect and the Infernal Ones, because I'm gonna tell you that was pretty wild, and I think that would actually work in well with some of the stuff that we're gonna talk about and upcoming in future shows. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as kind of what I said, what I told you is kind of old news, but it's forgotten news, And I think it's still relevant. It's as relevant then as it is now, and I think it does answer. It's got the ring of truth to it. It's plausible. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's just not something you pulled out of thin air. At first, I was like, "This don't sound," until I got to do it, looking into it a little more. And the more I looked into it, that's when I called Chaos. I told Chaos, I said, "You know who I need to talk to? I need to talk to Paul. Paul's got a really good head on the show. Paul's really smart." So that's when I got a hold of you. I'm like, told you everything just like I did tonight. And the first thing the thing I haven't told people is you can ask Chaos and Paul both. The very first email this guy sent me, I started reading. I didn't even read 2 paragraphs. I was like, oh, bullshit. I deleted it.
Yeah.
I didn't get any attention. And then I got another one and I was like, what the hell? So I'm like, really? And I started conversing. But it was one of those, it's like a 20-minute email, and it does not track back. Once it was gone, it was gone. And I think I scared them away by asking too many questions, and I haven't heard nothing else. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing a show on it. Screw it. I don't know if somebody was messing with me, if it was true, whatever. But what's going? Hey, I see Lethal's in here. What's going on, Lethal? Now
he had it went left and showed up.
hey, now that is a guy. I'm telling y'all, if he can do some wicked stuff on the, and that's who I had try to track this guy down. And basically, his email was one that, like, I don't know if anybody fools with the dark web and knows about it. I don't fool with it because I do good to use the regular web. I can't even tell you how to get to the dark web. But Lethal said that email was tied to like what people that converse back and forth to the dark web users.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know. But if somebody was trying to mess with Vault, it backfired.
Well, hey, can I just want to cut in real quick and say that a lot of the stuff that you were saying, Paul, the way that you mapped out stuff and the changes and how the conversation went with like how our feet are, bone structure and all that stuff, there's some stuff that I've been, and where you actually came right out and said that there had to be some type of manipulation going on. There's some stuff that I've been researching that would lend credibility to what you were saying, and what you said would lend credibility to what I was saying. So I definitely kind of want to, at some point here in the near future, I want to actually get into that conversation with you, bring what I have, you know, as well as bringing what you have, that maybe, you know, something that somebody would consider fantasy can actually have a good bit of truth to it. Because like you said, we don't know really what our past is and all that kind of, you know, that on that topic and subject. So,
well, I'm not a geneticist, but I have heard from you know, trusted sources that geneticists are now finding that our own DNA has been diced and spliced. We are off the flow chart, people. We are not, you know, we shouldn't be here, basically, is what I'm trying to say. If you look at the natural evolution of animals, you know, Darwin's theory of evolution, all that kind of stuff, we are way off the reservation.
I've been saying that about myself for years. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Well, I think we get the idea.
You know, and you know, the missing link's going to show up, and you know, everything's going to be fine. You know, but I'm telling you now, there's going to be a lot of missing links needed to you know, to properly answer all these questions. You know, because it just isn't possible.
You know, me and you talked about this, Paul. I think it was me and you. I talked to you and Chaos so much during this week that I can't remember who I talked to and who I didn't to about certain stuff. But we were talking about the cave paintings from the Native Americans. If just about anything else, cryptid wise or whatever, from aliens to Bigfoot, you can go back and find something that relates to it in a cave painting. You can't find nothing in cave paintings that relate back to Dogman.
Yeah,
that's what throws me off about the whole thing. All right, let's say now we're coming back. We're going to go back instead of 20 years like this guy first said. We're going to go back to the 40s. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
what I also find interesting as well, you know, talking about how we went from, you know, like primates to the common split, you know, and then the Australopithecines, then the hominids. There's evidence right through there of manipulation. Okay. Now, you can't just take a brand new species full of, you know, genetic abnormalities and then go on to create something else from it. You have to give it time to iron these things out, and to see if it's going to survive, So to get from that to us, you know, it's like we've been pulled, like a lot of our DNA has been pulled out of these hominids, who alternatively were pulled out of the primates or the Australopithecines, goes way back. Eventually it led to us, That's a lot of time to get to us, But you kind of got to look behind the machinations of that and wonder what is at play there. Like, why? Like, why? You know, and we've not been made in their image. We've been made in something else's image because we are vastly different.
Man, you hit the nail on the head right there. Let me throw this out there real quick. Okay, you guys, let me take one certain thing you were saying between you and Vault. You were talking about feet, leg structure, muscle structure, bone structure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, whereas a Squatch is big, heavy, strong, large strides, that type of thing. How well would a Squatch do in cave spelunking?
How well would a Squatch do in what?
Cave spelunking, going deep into caves, going deep into the earth.
Dude, they can go anywhere on the planet. They are adapted to anywhere on the planet. It's only us, human beings, right, that are dependent on like things like clothing, warm houses. If we were tossed out in the wild now, we would die within 2 weeks of either cold or radiation poison, i.e. sunburn from the sun. We just couldn't survive. We're not adapted to this planet. These things can go anywhere.
Yep.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, I think what I was trying to get, maybe that was the wrong question asked, but I think what I was getting at is that where we don't quite have the power and the strength of these creatures and the adaptability, that we were made for a certain purpose. Like, for instance, like I said, with the whole foot and leg thing, we were made for a certain purpose to be, be able to fit into smaller places, more agile. Would be able to cover certain terrains where it would be harder for somebody who has a bigger body structure to do. You know what I'm saying?
Or I'm gonna throw a kink in your chain, or food.
Well, there's that, but I don't think so. I don't think we're. It's like horses. We don't breed horses for meat. Some people will eat horses, but typically we breed horses because they serve a purpose. They're beasts of burden. We ride horses. We use horses. Same way other domesticated animals like dogs and that. Yeah, we don't typically eat dogs. We use dogs. Before in the past, we used dogs to defend our sheep. We used dogs as pets. We used dogs to go and hunt other animals. Yeah, that was something that you and I talked about before. About the breeding thing. With the DOGMAN. Supposing the DOGMAN was actually bred for something.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question over there. Well, you were talking about, you grew up kind of out in the country and stuff like that around farms. Did y'all ever use a lot of people don't know this, but jackasses are used around farms a lot to put in to either protect the livestock or to keep like two bulls from fighting. A donkey and jackass will break donkeys up from. Will break cows up from fighting and stuff. Have you ever heard that or seen that?
No, I haven't. I have heard of animals interjecting though, but
what that we were done, because donkeys are not something that is natural. You have to breed two different animals together, a horse and a mule, to get a donkey. It's not something that happens naturally. It's something that we did to make.
Like if you look at what's going on in the news today, right? You talk, like Trump's talking about the Space Force, Elon Musk is talking about going to Mars and all the rest of it. Yeah, like fast forward 100 years, right? We're probably going to be getting about a fair bit in space. Yeah. Now, what happens when we find a planet that's habitable, and we go down on that planet and we find primitive life, much as we were ourselves, 100,000 years ago? What are these creatures going to think of us? They're going to look at us as gods, all right? And then, because of how we manipulate animals over here, and we crossbreed and that, are we going to do something similar?
Now you're getting philosophical about.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because if I've been studying the Emerald tablets and the Sumerian tablets. And if you look at the Sumerian tablets, what's written on those, you're looking at this, this species called the Anunnaki, who came down here, found a primitive hominoid type of, creature, and eventually ended up using some of their own DNA to manipulate the DNA of this creature and create a race that could do their job for them, as in a slave race, like deep cave mining.
Well, they what was supposed to happen with Anunnaki, right, was they came to Earth, right? They set up shop somewhere around Iraq, which is where you had ancient Sumerians, or ancient Sumer. That's where that's originated from, And they basically set up like meshes and that in the River Tigris, and they farmed all the gold. Okay, there was shit tons of gold at that time because humans weren't looking for gold. Humans didn't exist.
Right.
So they could literally pull chunks of gold at the river. Now it's alleged in the Sumerian tablets that they needed that gold to repair the atmosphere of their planet. There was so much pollution from their industrialization process leading to the technological advances that they'd made that they then had to repair it. And if you were thinking like gold in a sort of like almost like a talcum powder form, they blow that up in the atmosphere, it acts as an insulator, stops harmful rays of the sun coming down and killing life. So they came to Earth to get the gold. Okay. Now, what happened when they tapped all the gold out in the Tigris and the Great Rivers was they had to go to the mother lode, which was in South Africa, and they didn't like that because they had to go down and had to dig down underground. So a few of them revolted and said, "No, we want a slave. We want a slave to go and do this for us," and that's where we come in.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the whole foot and leg structure thing, where maybe a Sasquatch or something with that, or a creature or a hominid with that massive of a structure couldn't get into the places where they wanted to go, so they created us.
I don't think
with the way our structure is.
I don't think it was that per se. I think it was more a case of they needed something that they could control. Okay, something like a Sasquatch would probably be quite a dangerous adversary to them. But what it did do is it gave them a template to create us. Yeah. And when they created us, they did something with the chromosome. I can't remember what it was. I need to have a look back at my notes. But they fused two our chromosomes together to get the so that they could then breed with us, and get these. And that all leads back to like this crossbreeding that went on led to the Great Cleansing, because the powers that be within the Anunnaki came down and realized that there was a few unruly Anunnaki that had been breeding with the humans and creating these hybrids. So we had what was called the Great Flood to cleanse the earth. All right, and a lot of our religion is taken from this text, this history that's there describing all this. We now know about that as Noah and the flood, the Great Flood. Yeah. But the whole Old Testament is taken from the Sumerian tablets, what's on them, But what we fight over now is how they've been interpreted, and say, that's not right. But when you look at these tablets, you'll see evidence of things like the plough being presented to humans from an actual alien, yeah. But the do-gooders will say, "Oh, that's not an alien. It's just it's a king or whatever." Yeah, it's an alien. An alien presenting us with a plough, lifting us out of the dirt and bringing us civilization. You know that in ancient Sumer, they had multi-story buildings.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that if we really deep dive into that, we could really have a wow.
Hey, email me that, Fear, and I'll put it up so people can see what I'm talking about. And
see, that's why I like the way you think, because it's like in a lot of the stuff that I've done, it takes me a little bit of time to put stuff together, so it all seems to connect. I get there eventually. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's
mind. I get
what's that?
I get that one-track mind. All week long I've been talking to you about this, and we were throwing up whether we were going to do a show or not about it, because, like I said, sometimes talking about DOGMAN brings out the weasels in the woodwork. But I was like, man, this is too interesting not to talk about. So, bam, here we are.
That's interesting. It's it raises more questions than answers, doesn't it? We come in here, we shoot the shit about it, and we talk about it, and put plausible theories, and you just end up with more questions. But
you do.
It's what keeps us coming back for more, though, right?
Yep.
You know what really messed me up was this certain book that I had checked out, and after listening to a few interviews with the author of this book, I'd gotten onto the Emerald tablets, the Sumerian tablets, and I'm starting to pull information. I'll be like, wow, it's kind of mind blowing. And then you've got this other author that comes in, and he's saying, listen, I have evidence that I've uncovered that where if the Anunnaki were here 400,000 years ago, I can tell you stuff that happened 700,000 years ago. And here's my evidence based on that. And I read that and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, that just takes everything in a Yahtzee shaker and throws it right out on the table. Be like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's just like there's another show. I'm not going to say his name because he might not want it. You know, a lot of people are always talking about, well, you know, show us proof or show us this. You can do that. I can, like the stuff we talked about tonight. I guarantee you somebody's going to say something about it. You can do that, and then they start bashing because, oh, they're liars. You asked me for something, I give it to you, and you still not happy. You know, that's what I tell people. Be careful what you ask for, and be careful what you go looking for, because you're probably not going to like the answers on either one.
Well,
you know, it's. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
Huh?
No, you go, mate. So I was interrupting you there. So.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Well, Vampa just said something in the comments where she said, well, they no longer only visit, but they live here as well. And there could be some, you know, some, do I want to say evidence? It's the only word that I could think of. It might be loosely based evidence, but there is something to the fact that there actually could be a hybridization still going on even now. And that's kind of, if you think about it, that's a subject that's like, whoa. I mean, it kind of takes everything else and turns it on the other side of the coin yet again. And I mean, I'm not going to discount it because anything is possible. But when you start looking at the world around you, it's like, well, maybe, you know.
Look, I done told you, I done seen too much weird shit to say, nah. And see, that's the other thing. You got so many of these named scientists that want to say, oh no, that can't be part. They can't. And time again, they're proven wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know, like people will say, well, you know, Bigfoot's real. Why have I never seen one? Okay. You look at the giant panda, all right? The giant panda in the 1800s, okay? People were talking about the myth of the giant panda, yeah? And all the scientists, and of course, not only was there a black and white bear that lived in the woods, but it didn't eat meat, it ate bamboo. And this was ridiculed to death by scientists. Like, what? Nah, come on, this is ridiculous, you know? But the myth persisted, okay? And people went out and the Sichuan provinces in China and that, looking for it where it was supposed to, and they spent years looking for it and could not find it, okay? Now we know the panda's alive today, right? It's as stupid as a bag of hammers, all right? And it was elusive. It was only when Teddy Roosevelt's son shot one and it suddenly became real that they say, oh, it's real, and then they went and started finding it, yeah?
And that, like I said, it actually was proven to be real over a whole accident, because when he shot that, he was like, that is odd. What is it? They couldn't tell him what it was, so he shot it.
But for over 100 years, they could not find it, and they went looking for it. This is an animal, right, has got nowhere near the intelligence of a Bigfoot.
Well, look at the bully ape that they found just a couple of years ago. It's a 6 foot tall chimpanzee. And it was supposedly, the natives were telling all the scientists about it. I was like, no, chimps don't get that big. Well, they kept telling them, oh, yes, this is as big as you. And walks more upright. Well, guess what? They finally found it, and there's a whole clan of them. It's the only clan that I know of, and they're kind of a rough and tough. They don't act like normal chimps, but they have classified them as chimps. But they're 6 foot. They can be up to 6 foot tall. Big ass damn chimp.
If you look at the Bible, right? The Bible will tell you that giants walk the earth.
Yeah.
But scientists will refute that and say, no.
Oh, like I said,
there's always some truth somewhere, and people didn't just make these things up. There's always a grain of truth somewhere in it, okay, that led to that.
I got two that I like to mess with scientific people about. When they say, well, scientists have been wrong before. Yeah, but I just don't think we are. Yeah, that's what the guy that said that coelacanth couldn't exist. Well, then they say, oh, it miraculously came back. Okay. The other one is the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh yeah, you got the Tasmanian tiger and the Tasmanian devil. The Tasmanian tiger's extinct now.
Yeah, it was supposed to have been extinct back in, like the 40s, whatever. Then all of a sudden they found a living population. Then for some reason it went extinct again. But now people are seeing him in the wild again.
Well, they said the same thing about the giant panda. Oh yeah, it's got to be extinct now. We've been looking everywhere. It's not there. It must be extinct now. Well, not quite.
I would love to see a damn Tasmanian tiger in the wild. That would be a hell of a fucking sight.
Well, get yourself over to Tasmania and go looking.
I'm thinking about coming down to your neck of the woods. I want to do some looking into the Yowie?
Yowie, yeah, that's more Australia than New Zealand, but apparently that they're here as well. But like I say, I speak to a few hunters over here, and I've said to them, "Have you ever found strange tracks or heard anything strange at night? Hollering or hooting?" Like, no, never. Kind of look at you funny as if to say, "Where are you going with this?"
Yeah, I've gotten that same thing too, and then later on they come to me off to their side. Well, I have seen. I just didn't want to say that around my buddy.
Yeah.
Because people get ridiculed for. Look, how many I can be somewhere, and hey, and this is how I find things. I can stop at a out of the way place wherever, little hole in the wall, mom and pop place, be in there. Hey, have y'all heard any weird, local legends or stories? Sometimes they'll look at you like you got a third arm growing out of your head. Then you got somebody that may walk up to you before your teeth. Well, we do have such and such legend. Oh, really? Where's that at? You start asking questions and find out, oh, they do have something. Because, like I said, Bigfoot is not, for years, that name was not used. And every little community had their own little thing they call these things. You got them called boogers, the Ozark howlers, the devil monkeys, the creek beast, you name it, and there's probably a name for it, and different little communities, because people didn't talk to say, okay, yeah, we got those over there, and start naming it all the same thing. And some of these things, some Bigfoot do not look like other Bigfoots. I'm telling y'all, I don't know what it is about them. The easiest way I can tell you is think of Patty and add somebody with Down syndrome. That is the only way I can describe it, because I'm not trying to be mean, or don't send me hate mail or nothing, but you can see a person with Down syndrome. No, okay, they got Down syndrome. It's kind of the same way with these Bigfoot. They just have a different look to them.
There could be cases as well, like a wee bit of inbreeding and things like that, and you get these genetic deformities appearing.
Usually when you start hearing stories of that, I go out and start looking. I'll find tracks of like 6 toes. I've even found a six finger where they were grabbing the bank, and instead of leaving 4 knuckle prints, it left 5 instead of 4. So that meant that it had 6 digits on its hand. Usually that's kind of an indication that there's something wrong with the population there.
Yeah, I think you probably find as well that these ones that do have these these abnormalities, these deformities, they're probably the most dangerous to us as well, because we're easy meat for them. They're maybe a little bit diminished in their hunting capacities. So if one of us was to stumble upon them in the woods, we'd probably be a tasty meal for them.
Yeah, and like I said, those usually are more aggressive than the regular. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just another total species or what it is. Those are usually way more aggressive and more. It's not territorial. They'll come into other Squatches' area and cause fights and just disruption. I don't know what it is. But like I said, they're not real. I'm talking about this. It's few and far between. I've had a little bit of experience with some, and y'all hear and find out why a little bit later. There was supposed to be a story put up today. Yesterday, that didn't get put up because I got busy with all this other research. The Booger Valley. I'm sorry, y'all. I got busy with this and fell down the DOGMAN and hole, and I apologize. That's the reason why, because like I said, I fell down the DOGMAN hole.
Well, it's a big hole to fall down on.
Well,
But
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in something like that.
yeah.
well, hey, we've been on 3 hours. I think we're gonna call it here. I've had a great show. Thank y'all. Y'all stay in, but don't leave when I shut it down. And I got something I want to talk to y'all about behind the scene. And to everybody that came in tonight, thank y'all. I appreciate it. And like I said, disclaimer again at the end. This is not what we're saying these things are. We're saying this is an idea to look into. Its possibility is plausible. This is the only thing I've come across that kind of makes more sense than anything else I've heard. So why not? And I'll let Paul say goodnight, then Chaos, and then I'll say goodnight, and we'll end it, y'all.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for being here and having an open mind. And please be careful, because you never know what's lurking around that corner or tree.
And to all the nightmares, sweet nightmares.